devastated by wind-driven fires that started last week.
My top priority and the priority of everyone else is to do everything we can to protect lives.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says urgent preparations are underway, including deploying water tankers to augment the water supply. More than 12,000 homes and other structures have been destroyed.
For so many people here in the Palisades, in Malibu, just to the south of me here, and in Altadena, which was the site of a terrible firestorm too, thousands of people are going to have a very long road ahead of them. It's hard to see how this comes back certainly not in months. Probably it's going to take years.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt. The fires have killed more than 20 people, with crews still searching burned out homes. Fox Corporation is supporting families impacted by the wildfires with a $1 million donation to Red Cross relief efforts. If you'd like to donate, visit go.fox/Red Cross. Just getting word of a green light for the Justice Department to release a special counsel's report on an election interference case against President-elect Trump. A federal judge clearing the way, but continuing a hold for now on the report from a classified documents investigation. Both Trump cases were ended, but two co-defendants still have charges pending in the documents probe. Outgoing National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says talks on a ceasefire and hostage deal in Gaza are at a pivotal point.
We are close to a deal, and it can get done this week. I'm not making a promise or a prediction, but it is there for the taking, and we are going to work to make it happen.
Sullivan also says they are closely coordinating with the incoming Trump team. President Biden spoke yesterday with Israel's prime minister and is set to speak with Egypt's president. America is listening to Fox News.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, the northwest flow is back. 28 for the high today. Sunny skies, a little breezy. Down to 15 with clear skies and a big, bright full moon tonight. On Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Nothing more than a spot snow flurry. 28. 29 on Wednesday, sunny. It's a little bit warmer, above freezing Thursday and Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com wants to remind you that if you pay for your own health insurance, open enrollment ends January 15th. If you are looking for coverage, do not go online looking for quotes. You'll get endless calls from call centers and they will not stop. Instead, call Greg, an expert with over 40 years experience, and he can provide sound advice for your health insurance needs. Their plans, if you qualify, let you pick your doctors, and it's 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. The monthly premiums are independent of your income, so there will be no surprise tax bills. If you pay for your own health insurance, own a small business, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to GregHammonds.com. That's GregHammonds.com. They will custom design a plan managed by you, not the government.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Where do you go for your annual eye health examination? Ophthalmology Associates, of course. Doctors Greg Birdie and Ranjan Malhotra. Dr. Robert Bersati, he's the one I saw. Or Dr. Andrew Royer. They are available to you and are there to take care of all your vision needs at Ophthalmology Associates. They're on Manchester Road, a half mile west of 270. Your vision is their business at Ophthalmology Associates. In fact, many of their patients are doctors themselves. That's why they call themselves the doctors, Ophthalmology Associates. Are your eyes itchy and scratchy? It could be more than just allergies. They're the leaders in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. They're the leaders in LASIK and discussing those procedures. And if you're having difficulty reading or driving at night, you have glare from oncoming headlights, could be early signs of cataracts, and they can talk to you about multifocal lens implants. Ophthalmology Associates, youridoc.com.
Lifestyles Unlimited member Lisa appreciates having mentors who have her back.
Having the faith to move forward, and y'all have everything provided. I could call a mentor and say, hey, I don't know what to do. Someone is always there to guide you. I have backup.
Lifestyles Unlimited. Over 33 years teaching the real estate retirement roadmap. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join now for $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Yes, it is the Annie Fry Show, and you are listening to 97.1 FM Talk. Thanks for tuning in to us today. It's good to talk to you. You're probably out getting ready to enjoy some lunch and plugging in to see what's going on in the world, and there is certainly a lot that is going on right now. We are 7 days away, 1 week away from the inauguration of Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States. I always predicted that Joe Biden would resign and Kamala Harris. I got 7 days left for that prediction to come true. I don't know. I'm starting to pull back on it a little bit.
Well, finally. Good, because 7 days, man, if he did it now.
Can you imagine?
You know, he could do it the day of. That's the only way this
You
has
get an
happened
hour,
now.
Kamala. You get an hour.
Yeah, and just to mess with the numbers. Like, all your merchandise is screwed up now.
That's one of the reasons why I thought they'd do it.
That's why he would do it now.
Yeah.
The only reason.
I actually think he might be more inclined to do it if it weren't Kamala Harris that would benefit from it.
Yeah. Jill Biden will not allow Joe Biden.
Jill's going to yeah, I was going to say, if Jill could become the president, that would have happened a long time ago. Maybe she is the president. I don't know. The YouTube live chat poll for us today on the Annie Fry YouTube channel is, should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned, yes or no? I made a suggestion with absolutely no information, no understanding of the consequences, no real grasp as to the gravity of what said decision would actually mean for the apparatus that is political systems. I made this suggestion this weekend on Twitter and, X, sorry, Elon. And I just said, all that money that's come in, how much, do you have a number on the top of your head that's rolling around?
Oh, I don't think it's more than a few million.
Oh, it's millions.
Is it millions?
It's millions and millions. Yeah, I don't know what the actual number is, but it's a boatload of money. People keep showing, like Bezos is like, how much do you need? Zuckerberg, how much do you need? Elon's donating. There's a lot of money coming in. Plus, you have everything that would be available from the campaign or the super PACs or whoever probably wants to have access in the future. Take that money, split it, give half to the East Coast hurricane victims, give half to the West Coast fire victims, and plan 100 days celebration in. Show us on camera him taking the oath of office in the Oval Office or wherever, somewhere safe, somewhere secure. Put him down at a desk right after that next to a stack of executive orders, and let's just get to business. I only say this because I'm worried about Donald Trump's safety. I think you are too, and this has really been something that I've kind of been persuaded into being a little more anxious about it. Normally I try to appease people's worries, but everybody who I talk to, they come up to me and they're like, how's it going? What's it like being on the radio now versus before the campaign? It always ends up in them saying, I'm just hoping that he stays safe. I'm just hoping that we don't see more of what we've seen in the past. And the consistency of what you have been telling me makes me go, I think maybe I'm kind of concerned about that too. I just haven't. Don't you live in a cocoon to an extent of like these people, these highfalutin people that are in our government or world leaders or whatever, and the systems that they move in, the Secret Service, the security that exists in the buildings that they traverse to, the vehicles that they ride in from point A to point B. They just don't live in a reality that we live in. But the reason why they have all those things is because people want to kill them in a way that they don't really, I don't think, they're not out there to try to kill us. So, yes, the security is incredibly heightened, but that's because there's a necessity for it. I don't need a big highfalutin inauguration, a parade where he is walking down. You remember? Mm-hmm. I remember the blue dress, Melania. It was beautiful. Walking down, I think, Pennsylvania Avenue on Inauguration Day in 2016. And I remember holding my breath the whole time. I was like, why is he out there like that? And now it's just the status quo. It's quite a bit different. And I'm very worried about it. And I'll probably, breathe half breaths for the entire term, just hoping that God protects him and keeps him safe.
Well, this is Donald Trump. It's going to be big. It's going to be showy. He's going to make sure everybody knows that he is in charge now, and he's going to have as many cameras on him as possible. But should he is the question.
I just think that if you're the guy who had a wildly successful reality TV thing, couldn't you just produce this, just like the left did the J6 committee hearings? Just do that.
I don't know. I like some of the PR that your suggestion would generate, because funding a lot of this relief effort in California does need to be coupled with funding relief effort in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, because they've been overlooked.
It's really amazing.
It really is. Real quick aside here. I'm on IV medication right now because of my lung infection. That's why I was out last week. I have to do this medication in a weird way that normally I wouldn't, because a major supplier of medical equipment got knocked out by the hurricane. Like, it's January. That was 3 months ago? This is stuff that should be top priority.
And it's reached all the way to you in your particular medical situation. But you have a house, you have a home, your kids have food. Like, there are people who are asking for another week's stay in a hotel.
Yeah, and that's still now. So while we're talking about relief efforts, I love the idea of what you're saying, split it between the two, because we need to make sure that those people are being addressed just as much as the Palisades will
or modify the inauguration plan so it is completely indoors and secure with highly vetted security to get people in, and force the people who donated the $1 million to you to double their donation so that each area can also get the same amount that was donated.
And that's kind of what I think the PR move should be, is to say to these people, hey, thank you for donating. Hey, maybe we shift some of this money around. I'm not opposed to that. But the people who are donating, they got more than a couple $1 million. They could go a lot bigger, and Donald Trump could sort of use that to push them to do private
Which is
funding.
The point.
Yes.
That's the whole point of small government.
Yeah.
And I mean, Donald Trump's good at shaking people down anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it for the American people as a businessman who has the understanding of what it's like to be incredibly wealthy and push that support to go there. I mean, to me, I want the big Donald Trump showy thing.
I do too.
I want it.
Yeah.
But I don't want it at the risk of his security. I assume that if his safety is at risk, that they will modify the moment or the event or the situation, whatever it might be, to secure it. But how has he not been secure before? He wasn't the president, but we were told that he has the same detail as the president. I'm just worried about it.
It's not something that we shouldn't be thinking about. It's just, I don't know. It's always hindsight. So, like, if something were to happen, we would all go, yeah, why did he have an inauguration?
Let's not be in that position.
And that's kind of what I'm saying is that I would disagree because I want to see a normal inauguration. I don't want to see fear win. I don't want to go back and say, well, he was almost shot. Let's not do anything the same way ever
I think
again.
fear winning is like my biggest opposition to this idea. I think that the idea of taking the money and donating it, that provides you, for lack of a better term, cover for why you're doing it. You can say, we just wanted to scale things back and we wanted to help people who actually need the help. We wanted to start making America great again as soon as we could. And rather than spending this money on a celebration, we thought it would be more prudent to spend it on people who actually need it.
I'm not saying don't celebrate either.
Right.
I'm saying I would like Donald Trump to have the reins for a little bit of time to do all the weeding out of the federal government systems that he needs to do in order to feel more comfortable with the systems that are set up.
I want to see an inauguration. I want to see a big one. And whether that means change, like you talked about him walking down Pennsylvania Avenue. I actually don't remember that.
Gosh, I do.
Didn't he get out of it wasn't planned. He got out. He's like, we should walk along this.
I don't think so. I think that was planned. He does that.
Yeah.
He'll be like, I'm going to go shake hands with those people. They're like, no, sir, you're not. And he's like, I sure am.
Yeah. The
I'm out
Easter
of the
Bunny
door.
shows up. Hey, wait a minute.
No, that's the other guy.
Oh, is it? Okay. But I would like to see still as much as possible. This is America. This is the land of the free. Even if there's a lot of security, I want to see him out there being big Donald Trump on Inauguration Day, bragging about crowd sizes, whatever it is. I would like to see that. But yeah, I mean, we just got to make sure this is an opportunity. Let's say that for the American people to trust the Secret Service. If we walk through this, everything goes fine. We can say, look, he didn't have enough staff for the Secret Service before he was president. Biden did that. The DOJ did that. Now that he's president, he'll be fine.
I just think that I want the stand up after somebody shot him in the ear, fight Donald Trump. And that was his initial gut reaction. He just stood up. He didn't know that the shooter was already neutralized. He didn't know any of that. He stood up and he said it in his brain. He said it was important to me to people know that I was okay. And so he stands up, blood streaming down his face, fight. And I think if you scale it back too much, if you roll back too much, you give the wrong impression, one of timidity and fear, and I don't think that that's good for his administration either.
You think that if he does we're all going to consume it through video anyway, watching it, listening to it. You think that if he were to swear into office, not go out in front, not be out on the Capitol stairs or whatever, and not give a speech the way Joe Biden did or the way he did in his first one, if he were to address to swear in, address the nation from the Resolute desk, talk about getting the hostages back, which he said will need to be done before he's sworn in, or all hell to pay. Talk about that. Talk about, as he's signing executive orders, about what this means for the border being shut. If he gets directly to business, do you think that shows timidity?
Yeah, I think it shows a little bit of fear. I think he needs to do what every president prior to him has done, because if he modifies that, if he doesn't go out on the Capitol steps, if he doesn't swear himself in, everybody's going to look at that and see that, and they're not necessarily going to lean, oh, he's trying to get to business. They're going to lean, what is he scared of?
I don't think everybody is going to think that.
Yeah, it becomes the story for sure. Why did he do things differently becomes the story, and if it's because of security, that's what everybody's talking about. I don't know if that shows timidity, but it definitely shows that there was concern for his safety.
Which wouldn't be a surprise.
No, I don't think anybody would be surprised by that.
No,
not at all.
Yeah.
Why would they be surprised? Why would they be worried about his safety? I don't know. So to answer this question for you guys, because we're going to open up the phone lines for you all here, I'm going to open them up right now. You can get in line in the next segment. We'll take your phone calls at 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. The question is, should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned? Yes or no? Brad, your answer?
Yes, it should.
Ryan?
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
All right. I'm a no. Let me know what you think, and maybe I'll agree with Brad and Ryan here, maybe agree with me, but let's talk it out. Do you want to see that inauguration be traditional, parades, Capitol speech, sworn in front of everybody with all the former presidents that decided to show up, standing there behind him, Let us know what you think. 314-241-9797. That's 314-241-9797. We'll take your phone calls next here on the Annie Fry Show. In the 1 o'clock hour, we've got Steve Moore to talk about the extension of those Trump tax cuts needs to get done, and Steve is an integral part of making that happen. And Andy McCarthy is going to talk to us in the wake of the sentencing of Donald Trump last Friday. Convicted felon he is now. What happens next? Well, Andy McCarthy will tell us that at 1:25. But your phone calls on the Annie Fry Show next about the Trump inauguration. 314-241-9797. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
The Retirement Advisory Group is inviting you to come hang out with me and Mark Cox and Mark Reardon on Thursday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. You can call 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494 and reserve your spot and take in this Protecting Your Retirement educational event. These are very helpful events. The room usually fills up, so we want to make sure that you get a seat. So call and reserve your spot. It starts at 6:30, and you'll listen to Bob and Tammy Kershaw and Thomas Helbig talk about how they can help you protect your retirement. When you are right there on the cusp of going into retirement, you know that it's right around the corner. You need to make some smart moves to make sure that you do protect your retirement, and they have the answers to those questions that you have. Reach out to them and reserve your spot at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Tell them Annie sent you, and I'll see you there at the Frontenac Hilton on January 30th. RetirementKey.com.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back 60 years, when a diamond cutter became well known for his exceptional craftsmanship. His diamond cutting business flourished for decades. Then his sons got involved and started selling these exceptional diamonds to upscale jewelry stores here in America. After a few years, these wholesalers decided to change the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices they had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success, and Diamonds Direct was born. Today, Diamonds Direct provides that extraordinary value to people all over America, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best prices, period. Diamonds Direct, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history, rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
At Neovitin, our goal is to create safe, dependable multivitamins to support your everyday nutrition when you need it most. That's why we've formulated Neovitin 50 plus multivitamins with 20 daily ingredients, including B vitamins for energy support, vitamin C for immune support, and Dr. Abicki's 4-ingredient proprietary blend that you won't find in any other multivitamins. Neovitin 50 plus multivitamins come in 2 specifically designed formulas to help support your nutritional needs. Neovitin Men's 50 plus multivitamin for men 50 and older, and Neovitin Women's 50 plus multivitamin for women 50 and older. With a 4.8 out of 5-star rating on Trustpilot, you can be sure you are getting quality nutritional support with Neovitin. Support your best life today with Neovitin 50 plus multivitamins. Available at your local Dierbergs, Schnucks, and online with our easy-to-use monthly subscriptions at neovitin.com. That's neovitin.com. neovitin.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Guns and hoses usually means boxing, but January 18th, it's all about soccer. After the St. Louis Ambush faced the Empire Strikers at the Family Arena, first responders take the field. One ticket covers both games. Get yours now at 971talk.com/events.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I'm going. Guess I really went and messed it up again. Now my baby's goner than the Tulsa wind. Judging by the stone sober state I'm in, need to crack one wide open. Somebody pour me a drink, somebody bum me a smoke. I'm about to get
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Appreciate you being with us this afternoon. We're asking you right now what you think about this YouTube live chat poll for today. Should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned? Yes or no? The boys, Brad and Ryan, both say yes, it should absolutely go on as planned. And I'm saying no because I think that there are ways to do it and to do it well. I mean, there are so many different modifications you could make. Like the parade that exists, we were running the video on our stream earlier about watching Melania in that beautiful, like powder blue dress walking down Pennsylvania Avenue, President Trump with her. And it just like, scares me to think about that right now. I'm just wondering, like, I want to see as much stuff get done on Inauguration Day as possible. Yes, you have to have fun. Yes, you need to celebrate. I get all that, but I just want to see him get to work, and I want to see him safe. The other concern about pulling back on a lot of the celebrations, you know, if you remember prior inaugurations, they have to go to all the president and his entourage of people have to go to all these different balls, and they all have to have their dance at all these different balls. And the interesting thing about that is important to remember is these are fundraisers. So the money coming in for events like this, that money is counted on for the next thing that the people who are in charge of these events are putting on. You don't do the ball, you don't make the money. Can you do it 100 days in? Probably not with the same pomp and circumstance. So there's definitely a drawback, as Brad and Ryan were both talking about. Well, Ryan, you were kind of saying more of the drawback. Brad wants to not be looked at as weak, I would say. Is that right? Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like your suggestions for what to do with some of that money, too, for PR.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference in the pot of money that's coming in. And if you want to weigh in on this, 314-241-9797. Got a couple phone calls here holding I'm going to get to in a second. 314-241-9797. There's a difference between the money that's been raised to put on the stuff. That's the money I said, let's just give that to the East and the West Coast for recovery purposes. But then you make a lot of money fundraising on Inauguration Day. Everybody, like, if you're not part of the very big center party where Donald Trump is going, there are parties happening all over the place that different political action groups are putting together that they're using to make money, because you're not going to get into the big schmo, but you can still celebrate with like-minded people. So there's a boatload of money that will be made that day.
And the party in St. Louis is going to be right here.
That's right. On 97.1, the Annie Fry Show, coming into work on Martin Luther King Day to be a part of the historic day for you. So we would love for you to join us that day as we take in the events of that day. Let's get to the phone calls here. 314-241-9797. We want to know what you think. Should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned, yes or no, or do you want to see some modifications be made? Kathy, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. What's your thought on the question today?
Hi. I don't want there to be a outdoor thing. I think it could be put on big screen TVs, because there's way too many wackos out there right now.
Yes, technically speaking, I think that is the perfect way to say it. The wacko quotient right now is a little too high for my comfortability. What's the important thing, Kathy, for you to see on Inauguration Day? What's the visual that you really want to watch happen and see take place above all else?
I think putting his hand on the Bible, but if they put out massive televisions all around the parade route, that would be fine. But if they want to do a parade, do it, but they can't get out of their car.
Yeah, I agree with that. Kathy, thank you very much for listening. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you again at another time.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Let's get to Brandon. Brandon, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Your thoughts on the inauguration of Donald Trump to be the 47th president once again in 1 week from today. Should it go on as traditionally planned?
Yes, I agree with Kathy as well, too. I just want it simple. Put the hand on the Bible and behind the American flag, and I tell you what, that is enough for me. Everything else can be televised. I'm worried about the safety of our president. Just like Kathy said, there's a bunch of wackos out there. Annie, I had one question for you regarding Trump's felony. I know you're going to be getting to that later.
Yeah.
There are several countries in the world where American felons are not allowed to travel. Now, I know him being the president of the United States, it could be some exceptions to that rule, but I'm real curious to see how that's going to work out, with him going through what he went through and traveling to Great Britain, let's say, for instance.
Is that one of them? You can't. I've never been a felon before. Ryan, what do you know?
Well, Canada. You can't go to
Canada.
several. Yeah, Canada is one of them.
What if you're a liberal felon?
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
Well, Trudeau's out now, though, so I don't know. It's all in limbo. These
Brandon,
are good questions.
I don't know the answer to your question, but we're having Andy McCarthy on at 1:25. How about we ask him?
That is perfect, and I'm looking forward to that interview. Great job today, guys.
Thank you, Brandon. It's good to talk to you. I can't imagine that it matters.
Well,
but
that's a real thing, though. I think that it would be that.
It'd be funny if he'd have to meet in, Greenland.
If Donald Trump, if they want to allow Donald Trump in some country, I fear for that country's safety.
Yeah. Are you talking to me?
Practically speaking, every country is going to kind of overlook that rule for him, but it is a real thing.
314-241-9797 if you'd like to weigh in on our poll question today. Should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned, yes or no? One of the things I get in feedback quite often is that you guys want to hear me take more phone calls. So we're going to try to do that. And if you have thoughts and opinions on this, give us a call and let us know what you think. We'll get to more phone calls here throughout the course of this hour. Do you think that the confirmation process of what's going on in the Senate, we're going to have to watch them go through all these nominations? We continue to hear people go, this is what they say, I don't want to count my chickens. I'm going to knock on wood. But I think all of Trump's confirmations are going to get through. I
don't see there being any problems.
If Matt Gaetz were still in there, I'd be like, I don't think that's going to happen. And what a sideshow that would be.
The other interesting thing is everybody has these objections until they actually meet with Tulsi Gabbard. And you go, oh, she's intelligent.
But isn't that the point, though, to not let that moment happen?
That is the point, but that's why they're meeting.
Yeah, make people run scared.
Yeah.
And balk at it. Maybe get the people to withdraw their name because it's too much pressure or whatever.
Yes.
And to pull out before you actually have to have human-to-human conversations. To be like, well, yeah, this person does want to help fulfill Donald Trump's plan here, and I don't agree with everything, but they're not Satan.
Yeah, and doesn't mean they're all going to get Democrat support either. But, Pete Hegseth goes on to Capitol Hill, meets with a bunch of Republican senators, and all of a sudden, Pete Hegseth looks like he's going to pass with flying colors.
And everyone's like, I don't know about that tattoo that he has. Now, I don't know anything about his tattoo other than it was all over Jimmy Carter's funeral.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was on the bulletin of Jimmy Carter's service.
Wait.
It was on the floor.
The cross.
Oh, okay.
That Pete Hegseth has that Elizabeth Warren's like, that's triggering for me and could be for other people. And it's like, don't you want the head of your military to be, triggering? They're very concerned. I think they're trying to reach to the right and reach to the left, not politically speaking, and tie together two ends of a rope that are never going to meet.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to make it seem like he's some sort of Christian white nationalist.
That is exactly what they're trying to do.
And it's like he's a Christian and he's white. And
just find anything.
He's pretty proud of America First. So
it's so funny when they still can't find anything on some of these people, and they're like, well, but they, in 1994, Pam Bondi was seen walking around Miami Beach with a liberal.
In Miami?
Yeah, you're like, come on. None of these people are going to have any problems.
314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Should the inauguration go on as traditionally planned? John, thank you for calling the show. What do you think?
Hello, Annie, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
What do I think? I think that the inauguration should go on as normal with one change, and that is when they do the motorcade, that they do the motorcade in garbage trucks, like during the campaign.
This is a great idea. This is good stuff.
Ryan changes his answer to, there should be modifications. John, that's funny. It would be a bold statement. Yes, it would.
Yes.
Thank you for that suggestion. I appreciate that. Thank you for listening, John.
May I ask Wiggins one question?
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
Real quick. Wiggins, did the bidet arrive yet?
Thank you for asking.
This freaking
Yes,
bidet.
the bidet arrived. The bidet is working. It is shooting water as we speak.
Okay, no.
Oh, no.
I'm getting one myself. Just let you know I'm all for it.
Okay, John, I'm going to draw the line right there.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
If we get people, if I start opening the phone lines and you get a bidet call per open phone line, it has to be sponsored.
Yeah, that's fine.
I need,
If
yes.
Bath Fitters wants to do it or whoever.
I'm actually kind of talking to a plumber right now
Oh, yeah?
about coming on the show. There's something to that.
I can tell you what, man.
We'll
a heated seat's going to change your life.
We'll image the segment with "So Fresh and So Clean." Dun, 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 dun.
So fresh and so clean.
And we'll do it like that.
Okay.
That's it. We just did it. The plumber that I'm talking to is like, never mind. Can't be a part of this. Let's get to Mike. Mike, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think?
Hey, good
About the
happy Monday,
inauguration,
everybody.
I should add there. Yeah, good afternoon. Should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned, yes or no? What do you think?
You know, I would steer towards the Secret Service and what they believe is safe and what they believe would be too risky. I hope that they do their job competently and that the president doesn't put his you got to admit, I mean, the guy does have an ego.
Yeah.
And I would hope he doesn't put that before safety and adheres, because we saw in the past, like famously JFK, he ignored the advice of the Secret Service, and we see what happened. But I would love to see a lot of the swearing in and the speech that's given after. I would love to see that given on the steps of the Capitol like it always has been.
Yeah.
But, you got to throw caution to the wind, because we've seen several times recently where people will go to any lengths to achieve their goal.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's an interesting situation, and whatever ends up happening, we're just going to have to pray hard that the safety of the new president is paramount and is secured. And I agree with you. Thanks for calling, Mike. We appreciate you.
Amen. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. I was thinking we could have the swearing in of Donald Trump and the swearing at in the Kamala Harris office.
Thank you for that. Bada-ba-ching. That was good stuff.
Bada-ba-ching.
I want to.
Are your drums broken?
Yeah, they don't have the skins on them. Just sort of hitting. He's like waving at it, hitting the sides. A weird comparison here, but
Okay, this is great already.
when you know how when the first snow comes through, which it was
Familiar,
last weekend, everybody's ready for the first snow. Everybody's on top of it. It's the second one, it's the third one that everybody's like, we handled that big one. Now this one will be okay. And that
I
one's
just
the
want to
one.
remember what snow really looks like.
Yeah, well, it's the third one that really gets you,
Yeah.
or whatever. You know, the ones that are coming, because everybody's kind of like, oh yeah, we've handled that. We'll be good. It's the same in my mind with the inauguration. The inauguration is going to be that first big snow. It is going to be handled so professionally. It is going to be airtight. That one's not the one I'm worried about. It's once you get through the inauguration, it's all these other random events that they go, we got through the big first snow. Now it's okay. We did a good job, So that's why I'm not as worried about the inauguration.
Do you trust the Secret Service, Brad?
I'm still not there with them.
When you listen to Trump, he only speaks publicly highly of them. But why wouldn't he?
Smart.
Yeah, that's a political move.
Yeah, don't knock your security.
I would say, though, the other side of that
These
is,
guys are the
too,
worst.
if we look at this, like, as long as we don't think that it was malice in the first two assassination attempts.
Malice on whose part?
Secret Service or whoever
And
was
isn't
organizing
there,
that.
Secret Service is a government agency. There's the people who actually do the work, and there's the people who sit behind desks and push paper at a higher level. How many times have we heard the FBI rank and file? 99% of them love Donald Trump. That's not where the problem is.
Right. And my thought is if this was if those two things were mistakes, if they were overlooked or whatever, complacency, whatever it is, when that happens, like the next time you want to tighten it up. And so I know everybody got nervous, but the next guy was sitting there waiting and they caught him before he even had a chance to get a shot off. And so my thoughts are, if this was a mistake, if it was incompetence, if it was complacency, whatever you want to, put whatever on there, I think that the Secret Service then would be on extra high alert because they can't afford to have this happen on their watch again, a third time.
Why? I mean, if we're going all in on what we've been kind of talking around, or I specifically have been kind of talking around, is that there are people in the Secret Service who would have malice in their negligence, intentionally negligent. If it looks bad for the Secret Service, but they get the outcome that they've been looking for, I don't think they care, because they don't care about the Secret Service.
Well, they don't care about the Secret Service, but I would say they do care about themselves, and they would want to be able to get away with it. And if this happened a third time, the investigations into it would be so deep probing that there's no way that anybody could get away with it. It might expose more than they're willing to expose.
Seems like last resort stuff to me. If we are suggesting that there is a compromise in the Secret Service Department that has been intentionally negligent, intentionally ignorant, then there has to be something these people are so afraid of when Donald Trump gets in office. There has to be something so frightening to them, threatening to them, that they are trying to do. Good grief. Let me go to the source. Peter Strzok. We won't let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
If this sounds conspiratorial, it's because they are acting conspiratorial.
Yeah, they're conspiring.
Yes, I can show you the direct conversations between the people in the background who are literally saying the first time, we won't let it happen. So forgive me while he has 2 attempts on his life that we know of. We don't know. We're not batting 1,000 here.
Yeah, you hear about Iran and they're putting agents out. We never heard any more. So who knows what happened?
So if you raise your eyebrow to the safety and security of President Trump because you don't trust the systems that are in place to protect him, 99.9% of the system can be in place to protect him, and one person. I mean, I've seen the movies. This is what movies are about. Like, you got a mole, you got somebody who's got a reason to go the opposite way. And if we were talking like this and he hadn't been shot in the face or had somebody on his golf course for hours with a barrel poking out of a bush at him, yes, they did catch him. But if that weren't the set of circumstances in the context that we're living in, this would sound like a crazy pants conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But we have. And I mean, like, good grief. If you looked at the hearings of was it the Secret Service director who was in front of the Senate hearings or whatever, and he was being pressed, like, he was the guy who stepped into acting after the other guy was gone. Girl,
yeah.
And I mean, you just listen. It's your job to instill confidence in us, and it has not been done yet. That doesn't mean that the obvious end result is that he's not safe and secure. It's just that I don't have confidence that he's safe and secure. It's not required for Annie Fry to feel comfortable with the situation for it to be a safe and secure situation. But this is where we are.
I have confidence in the Secret Service. I don't have confidence in the administration that was reportedly putting the worst in B team and not putting the best agents out there to protect their political foe. Oh, why? Because something like this might happen? Oh, gosh, well, if it did, shoot, I guess that's too bad. You know, these people were the same ones going, oh, this is terrible violence in America. But they didn't put the A team out. They put the B and C team out on their political opponent.
Why isn't he named a Secret Service director yet?
He is in Biden? Or he is in
No.
Trump?
Nobody cares about Biden.
Even Biden doesn't care about Biden.
He doesn't even know. Trump.
I don't know. I guess I didn't think about the fact that he hadn't.
I have been. I want who's the Secret Service director going to be? Maybe I missed it, but I don't think I did.
Well, who's over the Secret Service? That would be Pam Bondi, right? DOJ?
I mean, it's its own agency. There's a director of the Secret Service. A lot of people said it was going to be Dan Bongino.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Bongino has said himself.
Forgot about that.
That I don't have direct quotes from him, but he's expressed interest in that, or at least, you know how people, if you're being considered for something and it becomes kind of public, you're being considered and you're like, there's no way I'm going to take that job. You're still going to think and pray about it.
Especially if you're a radio host.
I, too.
Yeah. A little PR time,
I'm trying to think of what I could be qualified to do, and I don't know that it exists in the White House. Let's take a quick break. We'll get to Wiggins America, the Monday Roundup, the wildest ride in the wilderness, they might say, especially now. Because the Big Thunder Mountain is closed.
Oh, because I thought you were going to say because of news. No, it's because of the actual ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where that comes from is no longer operating. That's Inside Baseball. Let's take a quick break. You'll give us the news that we might have missed over the weekend. Steve Moore is going to be with us at 105, and we're going to talk to him about the Trump tax cuts, how quickly we can make them permanent, and what that means for American taxpayers. Also, Andy McCarthy at 125 to react to the sentencing of Donald Trump and what it means to be a felon and the president. Has this happened before? I don't think so. Andy McCarthy at 125. Wiggins America next.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
So I've talked to you about Lutheran education. I've talked to you about the Lutheran schools that are around the area, but I haven't talked to you about how you can help me quite yet, and that is coming this week. Later, we're going to be talking and bringing in the higher ups at Lutheran Elementary School Association, LESA, and we're going to talk about something very exciting that they are letting me do, and we are establishing a scholarship, and it's in the Annie Fry Show name. And I'm going to need your help on that. So stay tuned for more details on that. But what I'm constantly advocating for is somebody who sends my children to Lutheran schools. I went to Lutheran schools, both grade school and the Lutheran high school in Edwardsville. I am so excited to be able to share the message of how Lutheran schools can transform the education of your child and the culture that your child is being raised in. When you hand them over for 8 hours a day or whatever it ends up adding up to be, plus the extracurriculars, the music programs, the robotics programs, the sports programs that they participate in, when you hand them over, you're handing them over into a culture that is in line with yours. And even if you're not Lutheran, you certainly don't have to be Lutheran to go to a Lutheran school. There are people of all different faith walks. There are people I went to Lutheran school with who weren't, active Christians, but they wanted to invest in the right kind of atmosphere, educational learning system for their children. You're welcome at a Lutheran school, and it is affordable. So grandparents and parents, consider this as a possibility for your child or your grandchild. You can get all the details online and also how affordable it really can be, especially through, hopefully, the generosity of the Annie Fry Show audience in establishing scholarships like we're going to at the end of this month. We want to make that possible for you, and you need to make that possible for your child or grandchild. You can learn more online at LESA.org/Annie.
Do you want to kickstart planning for your retirement this year? I know a quick and easy way to do this. It's a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. It's kind of like getting the Cliff Notes on how you can make your money go a lot further in retirement. Hey, it's Dave Glover from KMOX. This one-night class is taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience. They're held at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You're going to learn about tax saving strategies, IRA and 401k withdrawals, Roth conversions, Social Security, and more. There's no cost. Just bring 3 canned goods for the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are still openings for the classes this month and next, so call 314-350-8110. 314-350-8110. That's my personal number, 314-350-8110 for Financial and Tax Architects.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BEDSORE.
Step outside and fall in love with your backyard again. From inviting porch overhangs to durable composite decks and cozy screen rooms, Lakeside Renovation and Design creates stunning outdoor living spaces designed for relaxation, entertaining, and making memories. With expert craftsmanship and top-quality materials, your new outdoor oasis will be perfect for every season. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com to get started. Let's turn your backyard into the retreat you've always dreamed of.
Since noon, we've been talking about this very issue. Should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned? We took your calls, and we'd still like to hear your opinion on this topic. Log on to the Annie Fry YouTube stream by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. It'll come up today's date. You can leave a comment there. We'll be watching those throughout the show. It's 12:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk presents Talk in Action, where we shine a spotlight on local charities making a difference in our community. Join us as we give back and connect neighbors in need. Visit 971talk.com/talkinaction to learn more.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins! Oh! Monday Roundup! Yeah! This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
All right, let's start with those who are looking for a job. I have some great news for you. Elon Musk wants to hire you for Doge.
Okay, wait, well, this is good news for people looking for jobs? Is that what you said?
Looking for jobs. He's looking for salaried roles. Now, it's unclear whether or not these are paid for by Musk and Ramaswamy, or if this is government. That's unclear. But they are looking
That's
for.
like the only thing that matters to me.
I know, me too. But they are looking to hire people who are very, very bright and very, very nerdy, in their words, that are looking to just cut all over the place because they want help in finding somebody. The quote is, a lean team of small government crusaders is what they're looking for. The fun thing is, you don't have to put in a big, long resume. You just contact them on X.
Should have said crusading machines.
Yeah.
It sounded cooler.
Ethan's here to help you.
Yeah.
A lean team of small government crusading machines.
Yes. Sounds way better. I bet that their numbers would do way better.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you think that you could do this position?
I think Ethan should maybe do it. He's got ideas.
Yeah, he clearly knows how to correct people.
I am bright and nerdy.
That's a Weird Al song, isn't it?
I think so.
Isn't it White and Nerdy?
Yeah, it's white and nerdy. He's bright and nerdy.
What is that song?
Well, I'm also white and nerdy.
Riding Dirty.
Riding dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No better time than
Wait
now.
a second. You know who Weird Al is, don't you, Ethan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, God, thank you. Go on.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play the whip here, so I'm giving Brad a little warning.
What about the nay-nay?
No nay-nay.
I need you to nay-nay after every time the whip happens.
Do you know how to nay-nay?
I don't even remember that dance. I remember the word whip goes
like
with
wave
the word
like you're saying
nay-nay.
goodbye.
And then you watch me nay-nay.
So you go like this, and then
No.
Wow.
the chair got in my way.
It's not. Yeah,
I could
that's
really
it.
Go
Really
down
was the chair.
this. Yeah, it was.
It was good up until the chair.
For the people watching on YouTube, I am sorry.
Yeah, I know. They're not watching
And
anymore.
you had
It's
to
okay.
witness that.
This is big news that I pulled basically just for Annie.
Oh, gosh.
Bluey fans finally get the announcement they've been waiting for years. Do you know what the news is?
No.
There's going to be a new Bluey Lego set.
Am I missing something here? Are you a Bluey fan?
My 3-year-old is.
Okay.
It's definitely tolerable. Have you ever watched Bluey?
No.
Never
I have
watched
not.
it.
Mm-mm.
I bet if I could pick out an episode for you to watch, and you would watch it, and I bet you would want to watch another episode.
That's it. I'm hooked.
Yeah, it's just, it's very smart. Bluey is a smart show. It's a very good show.
It's
also
one of the
Australian.
better kids shows. Even my 9 and 10-year-olds are like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll watch.
We'll just rank with Paw Patrol.
Way above. Way above Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol's bad?
We had to sell all that years
No.
ago.
Oh.
No, it's just
Paw
like
Patrol is a
kids.
good show for kids. They like it, but there are few shows that are created for children that are smart enough to not repel the parents after 2 episodes.
Gotcha.
Bluey, you could sit in a room and watch Bluey and maybe play a game on your phone, or maybe you're doing some work, but you will be interested in how the Bluey episode develops. You're not going to likely, I don't know about Ryan, sit down and be like, I think I'm going to watch some Bluey when your kids are gone. But Bluey's great.
No, I watch horror.
Horror.
Why'd you say it like that?
Hot Frosty.
Really had to emphasize.
Hot Frosty.
And Hot Frosty.
Horror.
Thank you very much, whoever's responsible for making multiple videos.
Oh, that'd be me.
About me talking about Hot Frosty.
Did you tag one of the actors?
I did tag. Yeah. One of my favorite. I didn't even know when I started watching it. One of my favorite comedians was in it. I'm like, oh, that's great. And he was fine.
Yeah, he watches it for the script.
Articles.
For the script.
just read it for the
For the
article.
writing.
I was thankful that those videos did get put out because I was able to be made aware of the mention of myself within that hot frosty conversation.
So the fact that we outed Ethan for always being shirtless,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that we were going to talk about that. I mean, it's just something we've grown accustomed around here. It was part of his contract when we hired him.
In the summer.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know it was going to go all year.
Yeah.
I
Once
didn't.
It's gotten cold.
I couldn't remember when we talked about it. Don't look at me. I couldn't remember when we talked. Look how innocent he looks. Put your shirt on. I can't do this.
I know.
The funniest part about the video was that it was like one of those that like you knew as soon as you said it you weren't going to be able to say anything else. You like fall off camera,
Yeah.
like immediately and start laughing.
Yeah, go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, and I haven't seen Hot Frosty Part 2, but I have seen Hot Frosty Part 1, and was encountered my own facial expression from the other side of when you said that. It's very good. It was very funny. That was one that nay. That was one that I did send to people. I don't send our stuff to people that I know, but I sent Hot Frosty.
Did you really?
Heck yeah. It's on the internet. What, you're afraid that, like, your biggest fan, my dad, is going to see it?
We put out so many videos that I'm kind of hoping some of them just kind of slide. You know, people go, not
Thanks.
better.
I really
interested in
appreciate
that.
that. The efforts of putting together great content and Brad's laborious effort to put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I hope some of them don't get viewed at all.
I hate you.
Last one. J.D. Vance jokes about skipping the inauguration. Why? To watch Ohio State in the title game. The inauguration and the CFP title game are both on this coming Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so
we're going to have a party at our house because we're big Notre Dame fans, and I had not considered that those people will be not able to watch the game. That's hilarious.
That's right. So there's a lot going on this Monday. Of course, midday, keep it here.
Ethan, would you say that the scheduling of the college football playoffs could use some improvement?
Yeah, but I don't know how to improve it because everything is catered around the NFL.
Yeah.
And there's no, even with how big the college football playoff is, it does not compete with the NFL.
No. Yeah, that's the way it's designed to be.
Yep.
Let's take a quick break. In the next hour, in the 1 o'clock hour, Steve Moore on the Trump tax cuts permanency and Andy McCarthy reacting to Donald Trump's sentencing. And you, go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Back in a minute.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar. And maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Underdog Sports, and if you're a Missouri resident like me, I've got great news. Underdog is now available to play in our state. It's the best place to cash in on all of your takes during the playoffs, which players are going off, which ones are ice cold. They have over 5 million happy players and $2 billion won, and they have a champs game. And with that game, you can win up to 1,000 times your money by simply choosing higher or lower on stats. So yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and more. Will Jordan Love throw more than 2.5 interceptions? Will Justin Jefferson have more than 3 TDs? You can cook up some really interesting entries. You can mix and match with hockey or the NBA. The Champs platform is the only platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. And Underdog is the best place to play Champs. Download the app, sign up with promo code MARKR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code MARKR. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Download the Underdog app today.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
An around-the-clock search. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. First responders trying to find people missing in the L.A. area wildfires, where more than 20 people have died. More than 90,000 still under evacuation orders.
Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna says the ultimate goal is getting everyone back in, but ask for patience.
People are saying, I just want to go look at my house and I want to see what's left. We know that, but we have people literally looking for the remains of your neighbors.
L.A. fire officials say the Eaton fire near Pasadena did not grow in size on Sunday, and Cal Fire officials say it's just over 30% contained.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers, stronger winds back in the forecast through Wednesday. Israel and Hamas are close to a deal for a ceasefire and hostage release in Gaza. Outgoing National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says President Biden's Mideast envoy has been in Qatar for more than a week now, also coordinating with the incoming Trump administration to present a unified message.
And now we think those details are on the brink of being fully hammered out, and the parties are right on the cusp of being able to close this deal.
The potential breakthrough coming as President Biden is set to give a final foreign policy speech at this hour at the State Department. A federal judge says the report on a January 6th probe of the president-elect can be released to the public.
While the Justice Department abandoned its 2 federal cases against President-elect Trump, Attorney General Merrick Garland still pushed to have special counsel Jack Smith's report into allegations of election interference related to January 6th released. Now, Judge Eileen Cannon has said that report can be released, even though she was also the judge who presided over the classified documents case against President-elect Trump, and she'd ruled that appointing a special counsel to prosecute the case was illegal.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Trump lawyers could appeal the latest ruling. The same judge has blocked release of the classified documents report because Trump co-defendants still face charges. America is listening to Fox News.
You okay?
I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, the northwest flow is back. 28 for the high today. Sunny skies, a little breezy. Down to 15 with clear skies and a big, bright full moon tonight. On Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Nothing more than a spot snow flurry. 28. 29 on Wednesday, sunny. It's a little bit warmer, above freezing Thursday and Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Have you been to STS Armory lately? Well, if not, check out their website first. That's pretty easy and convenient. You're sitting at your desk. You're not doing anything. STS-armory.com. When you check out their website, you can see all of the different types of products that they carry. Of course, if you're looking for a firearm, STS Armory in Illinois is going to be the smartest destination for your time, but also for accessories. If you've not been able to find the right holster, if you haven't been able to find the right sights for your carry firearm, if you want to advance your skills and take a course with the best instructors in town, you go to sts-armory.com. You can connect with them there. You can call them at 618-931-GUNS and be well on your way to a smarter, more responsible firearm ownership and operation. You can talk to Katie and Jesse. They understand the laws and the rules in the state of Illinois. They're abreast of every situation that's going on where those might change. So you can ask them those questions as well. It's good to have friends in the business of supporting the Second Amendment in the state of Illinois, and my friends are Katie and Jesse at STS Armory. Find them online at sts-armory.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun. Always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-230-9333. 314-230-9333. That's 314-230-9333.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
97.1 FM Talk encourages you to support Red Cross Disaster Relief. Visit redcross.org or text the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Your gift enables the Red Cross to help people recover from disasters big and small.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I wish Joe Biden all the best, but the fact is he has left us dumpster fire, not just at the border, but also with the economy. First of all, we know that prices are way too high for many Americans. We have to work every single day to stabilize prices for American families. But Shannon, everything that he's bragging about ignores the fact that he has added trillions and trillions of dollars to the federal debt during a time of peace. He has left us with bond yields, meaning how are we going to finance that debt? We have to sell Treasury bonds. And the Treasury bonds have gotten more expensive because of Joe Biden's policies. So you go issue after issue. Oil prices are now shooting through the roof in the final 2 months of Joe Biden's administration, in part because of decisions that Joe Biden has made over the last few weeks. He actually hasn't left the American people in good economic condition. That's why they made Donald J. Trump the president-elect of the United States. So we've got a lot of work to do. I remain fundamentally, and you know this, Shannon, I'll always be an optimist about our country, but I think that that optimism has to start with a bit of realism. And the real truth is that Joe Biden has left us a dumpster fire. Donald Trump is going to have to put it out, but he's good at doing that.
A dumpster fire that is being left for Donald Trump to put out. And we've got just the guy to walk us through how that might be possible. Steve Moore joins us once again, the distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation and a Trump economic advisor, as well as his authorship of the book, The Trump Economic Miracle and the Plan to Unleash Prosperity Again. Steve, welcome back to the show. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi, Annie. Great to be. By the way, I missed the very first part of who was that?
J.D. Vance, Vice President-elect.
Oh, yeah, he's exactly right. In fact, I've been saying the same thing that, I use the term, that Trump's going to need a giant pooper scooper to clean up the mess.
That might honestly be a better analogy than dumpster fire right now as we watch L.A.
So there's a lot of work to be done, and I'm optimistic about the fact that we're going to turn things around. But, I think it's going to take a little longer than I thought because it's true that, everything Biden's done just the last couple of weeks, taking all those millions of acres off land for development, he's spending every penny he can get his hands on. It's almost like he's trying to make the problems worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he wants to mess it up as much as he can before Trump gets in there to make it difficult for him to have success. So,
Exactly.
as an advisor of his, how is he going to bob and weave through all of these obstacles Biden is putting in front of him?
Well, we've got to get going. We got to hit the ground running on day one, and he will. By the way, he's not even going to. As soon as he takes the oath of office, are you coming, Annie? Are you coming to D.C.?
Oh my gosh, I wish I were. I'll be broadcasting live on Martin Luther King Day here. We're going to cover it all wall to wall. So.
Okay. Well, it's going to be exciting. By the way, I'll come on the show because we do always every Monday about this time. We're going to have about 250 people at the Hay Adams Hotel, which is right across from the White House, and so I'll it's going to be very noisy in there, but I'll come out.
We'll take you. Brad's writing notes down right now.
Okay, that's great. Anyway, so it's you got to hit the ground running. What the plan is that Trump is going to take to do the swear. He's going to be sworn in on the Capitol steps sometime around noon to 1 o'clock, right about the time you come on the air, and then he, normally then they have a parade, down Pennsylvania Avenue, the very famous parade. But Trump is going to go into the Capitol as soon as he's sworn in. He's going to start signing these executive orders to undo all the, and then they'll have the parade. In other words, he cannot wait to start reversing these crazy policies that Biden put in place. But we got to get the tax bill done. We cannot wait. My line is we got to do this in the first 150 days because I want to remind your listeners, if we do not get this done, the average person and family that's listening to this show is going to lose $3,000. They're going to pay a higher tax. In other words, doing nothing is not an option. We have to get this passed right away, and then we're going to do the energy development. And then of course you saw what happened with that. Was it the Lincoln-Riley bill? Passed like with 80 votes in the Senate. Remember this? Oh, it's so cruel. It's so inhumane to, round up the criminal aliens.
Yes.
And it turns out when we put it to a vote, guess what? Everybody's, aboard this agenda because it makes sense.
Yeah. I want to ask you about your observations here. They got the speaker passed, so Mike Johnson's back in the speakership. Mar-a-Lago has been teaming with Republican leadership from the House of Representatives. They're pushing through this reconciliation bill. I've heard about big, beautiful bills, or maybe two would be fine. What's your confidence right now in the House GOP's job and their ability to get their job done with Donald Trump's leadership?
Well, Congress is very difficult to ever estimate what they're going to do. But I think we will get this tax bill done. I'm going to make a prediction to you that we get a bill signed into law by Memorial Day.
Okay.
And that would be like the first 150 days. And that's because it can't wait. The longer you wait, I mentioned this last week on your show. Trump is more popular today than ever he's ever been. And he's got a huge amount of political capital. He's got the public behind him. He's got to go. Don't waste this. Don't waste the moment. Go. It's just like, when FDR came in, it's just a blizzard of activity in the 1933. Well, now we got to have Trump come in and just change the direction of our country because J.D. Vance is right. I mean, this is a mess.
Yeah. We're speaking with Steve Moore right now. He's a Trump economic advisor and a distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation. I want to ask you a little bit about the situation in California. And, once they get these fires completely under control, and we pray sincerely and deeply that happens very, very soon, I've been thinking about the blue state, the navy blue state that California is, and the government regulation that's going to exist between where these people are now and where they will need to be if they choose to rebuild in California. We're going to get to see up front how much government is willing to stay in the way or get out of the way for recovery here. I'm just wondering what your observations have been of the devastation and the fires in California and what's going to have to happen next to get them back in line.
Well, I mean, look, what's happened in California is, I would almost say criminally negligent. I mean, this shows you what happens when you have progressive, out-of-touch politicians, including Governor Gavin Newsom. Can you believe Gavin Newsom is considered a front runner to be the Democratic nominee for 2028? I mean, come on. What they have done in California has done so much damage. Not just to property, but obviously lives that have been lost, and also the fact that it's going to cost, I've heard estimates of over $100 billion to rebuild what has been lost to these fires. Millions of trees. Trees. I thought environmentalists were in favor of trees, but I kind of laugh about it. But my point is that one of the leading causes of carbon and greenhouse gases into the atmosphere are forest fires. These forest fires have caused more carbon to go into the atmosphere and more carcinogens than every car in the whole state of California. So my point is, if they had spent 1/10 as much money in California worrying about forest fires rather than worrying about climate change, this would not have happened. And tell me this, you can tell I'm angry about it because I am.
Yeah.
Tell me how you can have forest fires and run out of water when you're 3 miles away from an ocean.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. There's got to be a desalination plant that gets that water.
You don't even have to desalinate the water to put out a fire.
Yeah.
I mean, it is unbelievable to me that these kinds of things happen, and that the irony is that it's not just bad for the economy; it's bad for the environment. The worst thing to breathe is the smoke.
Yeah.
That gets in your lungs. It can do permanent damage.
Yeah, it's there's.
I have a son who lived in Los Angeles. He had to move out. He's out of there. Because you can't breathe the air there.
Oh man. Well, prayers for fast and just full recovery for these people, but the death toll keeps going up, and I'm just watching the government at all levels, which is very, very left-leaning, hand off responsibility one way or the other.
They're incompetent. They're incompetent. The fact is, this was one of the great dangers. Everyone knew that this was a powder keg. And the state, you turn on the fire hydrants and the water doesn't come out?
It's outrageous.
It is.
Yeah. Well, Steve, I think that the next time, if you are available next Monday, that we speak, Donald Trump
will talk,
be
Donald
president.
J. Trump will be president of the United States.
I'm excited to be able to say that, and we will pray for that moment and hit the ground running and get this country back to where it's supposed to be. Steve, thank you for being with us. Take care. Bye-bye. Steve Moore, a distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation, a Trump economic advisor, in his book, The Trump Economic Miracle and the Plan to Unleash Prosperity Again, starts Monday. And nice to see that he's willing to come on the show next Monday. Hopefully he follows through on that. These people who we have connections with, they're all such great people, and they make time for you because they care about you and they want to talk to you. And it's going to be a busy day Monday, but the excitement is real. The energy is real. And we'll get him back on here. We're going to, I'll talk a little bit about that. Next Monday is Martin Luther King Day. It's traditionally a holiday for us, so we would normally be off that day. But the Annie Fry Show knew that we would be on the air while all of the things were happening. We're going to see, as you listen to Steve Moore say, he's going to swear in, and then he's going to go into the Capitol and start signing EOs. We're going to have all of that covered for you live here. Of course, it's going to be a fun opportunity to spend time together, God willing. I mean, I remember when we were on the air for January 6, 2021, and you thought, okay, let's go see how this constitutional process plays out, questioning the results of an election, and little did we know what we would end up being able to cover during that historic day. This will be a little bit different, we pray, and we are going to be here on the holiday celebrating with you. So please add us to your list of things to do as we watch the president be sworn in 1 week from today. It's really crazy that this is happening.
It's very similar to opening day, for the Cardinals to me. When you watch all the pomp and circumstance, it's fun. You're just kind of enjoying watching a tradition and all the things that go along with it. And you're excited about what could happen. Yeah. But then it's once the baseball starts that you're like, all right, here we go. And that stuff's happening that day.
Yeah. Very, very impactfully. And I can't help but, this is the first time in my lifetime, certainly as a broadcaster, but as somebody who's been paying attention, I would say pretty sincerely to politics and to the consequences of elections and the importance of voting and all of that. Since I was a junior in high school, I've been paying close attention to it. This is the first time that I'm watching a president be inaugurated and get to work with such a fresh understanding and feeling of what it was like to be on the other side of watching the person who you did not want to get in there. And that's a real emotion. A lot of people are going to be feeling that day. I mean, if we're looking here at what's taking place and knowing that there are people who are still very sad that Donald Trump won, I'm also going to say I don't know a lot of people in my life who felt like their life fell apart after November 5th.
No, I don't either.
And I don't think that they voted for Trump.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of, and our guests said this. I think Steve Moore said this within the last couple of weeks, that he knows a lot of people, and obviously he knows a lot of Washington people.
Yeah.
And his Washington friends who voted for Harris were like, well, okay, Trump did a few things. Let's see what he can do.
I think Steve Moore used the word relieved. People who supported Kamala Harris were relieved that Trump won.
That's an interesting place to be.
Let's take a quick break. Andy McCarthy on the Annie Fry Show. When we come back, we're going to talk about the aftermath of the sentencing of Donald Trump. Also, President Biden is going to give a foreign policy speech here soon. We're going to talk to Andy McCarthy next and respect the booking that we had with him. But we are watching Antony Blinken, who is the current Secretary of State, speaking in front of a podium. I would presume that what is taking place here right now is some ceremonial goodbyes maybe that are happening, but President Biden should be speaking, and we will watch that and monitor and probably bring you some highlights after we get done speaking to Andy McCarthy. One of those questions we had from one of the listeners who called in the 12 o'clock hour about our YouTube live chat poll, should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned. I think it was caller Brandon maybe that asked, so if Trump's a felon and there are certain countries that felons can't travel to, ... Well, we'll add that to the list of questions. We'll ask Andy McCarthy next on the Annie Fry Show. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the bagel loan. He's the bagel loan guy. And he's happy to be called the bagel loan guy because he knows he's got a great deal for you and your mortgage. Are you buying a home? Do you have an interest rate on your home that you got in the last year or two, maybe 3, and it's high, and you don't like that it's high? They've come down a little bit since then. Do you know that when you refinance with a bagel loan that you pay no closing costs to do that? You can lower your rate. You could potentially lower the years on the term of your loan and save money. If you are looking to purchase a home, you can use the bagel loan, and when you go through the process, on both the refinance and the purchase, you pay nothing in closing costs. So you're going to go through, you're going to acquire that mortgage and save potentially thousands of dollars on the process because with Stewie, you just don't pay those closing cost fees. It's called the bagel loan, and it is only with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. Here's the number to call him directly, like the cell phone in his pocket right now, 314-324-4440. You can text him as well at 314-324-4440. This is a smart move. Make the connection. Tell him Annie sent you. Google the bagel loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 5-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
When is there going to be a reasonable, transparent policy on body cam footage? The good and the bad. I personally think they're great because 9 times out of 10, they exonerate good cops.
The Mark Reardon Show. Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Chop top, it says I'm gonna win big. Choose not to life of imitation.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're going to connect here in a minute with Andy McCarthy, but before we do, President Biden, 1 week from stepping down while Donald Trump comes in and gets inaugurated, he'll be president at this time next week. He is giving one final foreign policy speech from the State Department. We are going, well, let's put this off. Let's pause the State Department speech. We'll get back to that because I think he's doing some formalities here. The Antony Blinken conversation was kind of some backpatting. This is what they're going to do. It is what it is. But I want to set up here. Can we go to Biden? Yeah. No. Every time I say let's go to Biden, Andy McCarthy calls us back.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. It's just blinking lights everywhere.
Yeah.
It's fun to be in a studio, ladies and gentlemen.
There's so much going on here. I'm going to play this clip here from Charlemagne talking about the Trump sentencing from last week.
What a waste of time. I mean, what a waste of time. Pure political theater. They was never, ever going to convict a former sitting president of nothing. And what was even more ridiculous was watching, liberals celebrate this. Like, this is not a win. Who cares if you can call him a convicted felon when you still got to call him president for the next 4 years? Who cares?
So Charlemagne is saying, talking about the sentencing and saying it was a profound waste of time. We do have the convicted 34 felonies in that Alvin Bragg case, and now a sentencing from this past week. And you have to ask yourself, what for? What was this? What was all this for? When the sentencing comes down, and it's like, basically, thank you for your time. You're free to go. Let's ask our friend Andy McCarthy, contributing editor at National Review, a Fox News contributor, host of the McCarthy Report. Andy, thank you for the time today. It's good to have you back.
Annie, it's my pleasure. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. 1 week from this moment right now, we will have a President Trump. But last Friday, we have convicted felon Trump. We've talked to you many times about the sentencing being a requirement to be referred to as a convicted felon. What's your reaction to that sentencing this past week?
Well, I mean, in the end, it's much ado about nothing because they spent the whole campaign calling him a convicted felon. I understand. And probably because I was a prosecutor for a long time, and also because, like any other person who gets to be, a certain age, if you've lived your whole life without a criminal conviction, that's something you're proud of and you want to maintain. So I certainly understand why, personally, at the age of 78, President Trump didn't want to be branded a convicted felon in a formal, official way. But if, that's his personal feeling about it, which I have a lot of sympathy for. But in the greater scheme of things, it really doesn't seem to make much difference because they called him a convicted felon throughout the campaign and he won.
Yeah.
And in the end, this thing was not a one-off. This case was part of a crusade against him that was coordinated among Democrats, Democratic political operatives, and Democratic prosecutors. So I don't think you can look at it as a one isolated thing and say what was the point, because it was all part of one big assault on him. But the point, the major fallout of it is it failed. He's going to become president. And the small thing that I guess matters is, as you just pointed out, Annie, the sentencing is the thing he had to go through to end the case in the lower court, and I think he will only be a convicted felon until he gets appellate review, at which point this case will get thrown out. So from his standpoint, as long as his lawyers can go about challenging the case on appeal, then the sooner they get on with it, the better.
So Andy McCarthy speaking with us right now. My understanding is you're kind of saying there that you can't appeal until the sentencing is complete.
Right.
So now President Trump is he's one step closer to exonerating himself by going through that appeal process. Is he going to be treated like any other citizen through the appeal process? He's the president. Does it get expedited? What happens next?
Well, I think people are down and there's good reason to be suspicious on New York's court system. But I would say, having been a New Yorker born and bred and observed that system for a long time. Even though I was a federal prosecutor and spent my career in the federal system, I had to interact with the state system in criminal cases and even civil cases a lot of times. The quality of justice tends to get better as you go up the chain in the system. You just get better appointments, generally speaking, in the appellate level. And then, of course, the Court of Appeals is the highest court in the state. I forget how many they have, 7 or I think it's 7 judges. But so I do think he'll do okay in the New York system. And I would just point out to people who poo-poo it, the appellate division in the civil case that Trump had that was brought by the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, the appellate division reversed Judge Engoron, who was the crazy judge who presided over that case, a number of times. And they were very hostile to the state at the oral argument. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but I would bet that when we get the decision on the civil case, the whole case may get thrown out. And at the very least, that huge award that Engoron ordered against Trump is going to be, I think, substantially discounted. So, and the other thing I point out to people is the only in New York, I would say, somebody who was politically more of a hot button or at least on a par with Trump as far as that's concerned is Harvey Weinstein. I mean, that was one of the biggest scandals. It's a scandal that has a name after it, right? The whole Me Too thing that went on for years. I would just point out that last year, the Court of Appeals in New York threw out Harvey Weinstein's conviction because he didn't get a fair trial. So if they were just going to do the political thing, they would have rubber stamped that. And instead, what they did was they reversed it. So I have hope that as you go up the chain, you're going to get better results. Plus, the New York courts know the Supreme Court may review what they do, which, when you know someone's going to check your homework, you usually do a better job.
I keep telling my son that.
How's that working out for you?
He's a freshman in high school. We learned a lot of lessons in the first semester. We'll put it that way.
Yep.
He did okay.
Yep.
Andy McCarthy is speaking with us right now. I want to take this down to like the 100 level course of the legal system, even before the 101. Because we hear about these judges, and you're like, good grief, how can they be as political as they are? Like, what retribution do voters have, or do people who might find themselves in these courtrooms have? And also, when we go through elections, the question I get the most from people is like, Annie, tell me about the judges that are on my ballot, like voting to retain and so on and so forth. Like Merchan and Engoron, all of these people, we go down to Georgia and talk about some of the system down there as well. Are any of these people, these names that American voters and taxpayers have come to know in New York or throughout the course of the system, are these people accountable to the voters, or are they appointed to their positions to where some other action, maybe from a state legislature, would have to take place to remove them?
Yeah, well, one of the things that you said in teeing up that question is probably the most important thing of all, which is the voting part of it. In the federal system, judges are appointed, right? So they don't face the voters. They don't get elected. They have to be vetted by the Senate, and that at least puts them through a process where it's expected that they're going to represent that they will not take politics into account when they're exercising their authority. Now, you can argue that they say whatever they need to say to get confirmed, and then they do what they do once they get on the bench. But at least it shows that there's an expectation there that, the senators ask the questions and the appointees answer them in a way that tells everybody taking politics into account is a bad thing, which is why I like an appointed system a lot better than an elected system for judges for that reason. I think we get to at least examine them, and we get a shot at knocking them out if they're, if they have radical backgrounds. The problem with electoral systems where the judges get elected rather than appointed is that politics is basic to the mix, right? I mean, they actually get elected to their positions which at least creates an appearance that they're expected to make their ruling something that would be appealing to the voters, at least as they see that. Whereas a judge's job, the reason judges are insulated from politics in the federal system is we want judges to be able to make the unpopular decision if it's the right legal one. And if you're getting unpopular decisions that are the right legal one, then Congress has a chance to change the law, to meet what the public's expectations are. But we don't want judges taking politics into account. It's hard to make them do that in a system that's political to begin with. And then the other problem, Annie, is where this has really become problematic in all those places that you mentioned, and your city of St. Louis as well, but, Atlanta, New York, et cetera, these are one-party jurisdictions. So, yes, in a sense, these judges answer to the voters because they're on the ballot, but if there's no Republican Party to speak of, then the election's kind of a sham, right? Because they're not really running. Once the Democrats pick them and put them on the ballot, they're going to be elected. And the Democrats tend to pick, they don't pick Antonin Scalia's, right? What they do is they have, you have these club party lawyers who do stuff for the party for 15 or 20 years, and the big plum they get at the end is they get to be on the bench and wear a black robe and everything's very cute.
Yeah.
But it's not really – they may come away and say that, they're responsible to the voters, but I think they're really responsible to the party because they don't have any practical opposition as far as the voters are concerned.
Yeah. I think that the Americans, certainly Trump supporters, have learned a lot about the justice system in the last couple years and maybe can use that knowledge or at least the inquiry of how does this work to put us in a better position to make better decisions when it comes to who's sitting on those benches and sending the people to the Senate or to the state legislatures, those individuals who oversee these appointments. I wanted to ask you one more question before we let you go. We're speaking with Andy McCarthy. We're very grateful for your time today. I wanted to give you an opportunity to comment on Jack Smith, who resigned from as Trump's case is winded down and he's in the position that he's in right now, which is pretty much out the door anyway. Your thoughts on Jack Smith, the reports that could potentially be released regarding Donald Trump and the cases that he's faced a week out of his inauguration?
Yeah, well, so as far as the reports are concerned, I'll deal with the last thing that you said at the end because I think that's the easiest thing to deal with. What difference does it make at this point? 3 weeks before the election, he filed a public submission in the January 6th case that was 2,000 pages long that laid out his whole case. So what more is he going to say in a final report that he hasn't already said there? And as far as the Florida case is concerned, he indicted that twice. He litigated it for over 2 years. Everybody understands what his case was and why he made the charging decisions that he made, which is why special counsels get to file a report. Most normal prosecutors don't get to file a report. When I was a prosecutor in New York, if I decided that we didn't have a case against someone, I would have a confidential conversation with my chain of command and say, I don't think we should bring this case. And if they agreed with me, we would drop it, but we wouldn't go public with the evidence because you're not supposed to do that in the Justice Department. With special counsels, they make a rule that they can file a report at the end. The rule says it's supposed to be a confidential report, but because you're dealing with public officials and there's clamor from Congress and from the media, it's become pretty routine that these things get released. I think there's a big difference between a special counsel investigation where the special counsel actually filed charges and one where he didn't. Where the special counsel doesn't file charges, then you could say, okay, we have a public official who was investigated for potential criminality. This is the only way we're ever going to find out what happened here. Give us a report. And then the attorney general can decide how much of it should be public, consistent, and it's never consistent, with the Justice Department's usual rules that you don't publicize evidence against people that you don't charge. But it just seems to me when it's someone like Jack Smith who has filed numerous indictments and then filed numerous public court submissions explaining why he brought the charges and what his theory is and who his evidence, who his witnesses are and all that stuff. What do we need a report from him for? He laid all that stuff out already. And I don't think, everything we saw from Jack Smith is that I don't think he's a stupid guy at all, but I do think he's a zealot. And a zealot doesn't leave anything on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
I think if Jack Smith thought he had a crime, he put it in the indictments. So what are we going to learn from, the reason he couldn't get to trial in Florida, and maybe the whole history of this would have been different, is because he overcharged the case. Like he threw everything, including the kitchen sink, into the indictment. So what are we going to learn from his from his final report that we don't already know?
Well, if he was anything, he was certainly useful for an amount of time.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. I mean, if he were successful, I think that it wouldn't be Donald Trump swearing the oath of office next week. I think that's kind of what we all assume that this was supposed to be, and it didn't happen. So, but he gave it his best, I suppose.
He underestimated the difficulty of prosecuting a president. And as a result, the thing he really didn't anticipate was the immunity ruling. And the real, everybody says Smith did all this stuff and he comes away with nothing. And that's, in the end, that's true. But I don't think it does justice to the way this played out, because the most important thing that happened in the 2 years of lawfare was the Supreme Court, first, the appeals process of the immunity froze everything for 7 months so that Smith couldn't do anything. He couldn't get those cases to trial. And then at the end, the Supreme Court gave sweeping immunity to presidents, which made it practically impossible for Smith to do anything. So, yes, he's a complete failure in the end. But, the way this played out, the indictments helped Trump get nominated. They completely stopped the momentum of every other Republican in the field, including DeSantis, who, started out pretty well, at least in the polls. And then I think the Democrats thought they were going to get phase 2 of lawfare, where they were going to get these cases to trial and really bury Trump, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah. It's been something to take in. And I guess the next time you and I talk, we will have a new president. It's just kind of an amazing roller coaster ride arc that we've been on. And your expertise has been so valuable to our audience, Andy McCarthy. Thank you for being with us today, and Happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you so much, Andy. Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye. Andy McCarthy, contributing editor at the National Review, Fox News contributor, of course, host of the McCarthy Report. Check out his podcast. Very knowledgeable guy there. And I will also add, he's not like some Trump sycophant. So I know a lot of people who probably don't listen to the show all the time just think that we're here to praise Trump. And we are certainly here to praise Trump on the praiseworthy things of Donald Trump. But honest and fairness and objectivity, those are important too. And we are so grateful for Andy McCarthy's time each time he's willing to come share his expertise with us. All right. If I told you we weren't going to listen to Biden's speech when we come back, would you be more likely to listen? Or if I told you we were? That should be the break, the poll for the break. He's giving his last foreign policy speech. They say it's his last. God willing, it's his last, because if he has to come back and give another one between now and then, I'm worried about what that might be. It seems as though, I don't know how much you've been listening to it right now, it's kind of a victory lap of sorts. These are all the things we've done.
More or less. Gone on quite a bit. Lots of applause. At the very beginning was a lot of pomp and circumstance.
Sure.
Blinken came out and was like, here's Joe Biden, and he did a great job. And everybody's like, yay.
People do those things.
And he stood there with the teleprompter in front of his face.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, the screenshot of Antony Blinken, and I would be curious to look at other networks to see if they had the same shot, because if there's multiple cameras in that room, maybe Fox did that on purpose. I don't know. Antony Blinken standing behind the podium with the presidential seal on, getting ready to invite Joe Biden to take over and deliver this speech. And in the shot, you see Antony Blinken, clear as day, in front of this podium, and Joe Biden is standing directly behind the teleprompter that's up there. And it's just, a skinny pole that goes up to this like rectangular shape, clear plastic looking thing, rectangular plastic looking thing, and it's just completely covering Joe Biden's face. Joe Biden's head was a teleprompter. It's Ryan was in here. He goes, "This is an SNL skit in the making." We'll maybe dip in on the break here and see what we can see and bring that to you if they're highlights. If it's just a U.S. adversaries are weaker today, lies detected. We'll check it out for you. Maybe we'll filter it. Maybe we won't. But more Annie Fry Show right around the corner. YouTube live chat poll: should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned? Yes or no? We want to know what you think. Join us on the Annie Fry YouTube. New Year's resolutions. Do you have any? Maybe it should be to join us on the YouTube. There, I made one for you. And if you come join us on the YouTube, you can say that you did it. You completed your New Year's resolution. You could be done for the year. How about that? Go to youtube.com/@AnnieFry. You'll see that we're broadcasting live there right now. And the poll is located in the comment section, the live chat portion of that YouTube broadcast. And you can tell us if you think it should go on as planned. Yes or no? We got 211 votes in halfway through the show, and it's kind of leaning heavily on one side or the other, so you can tell us what you think. We'll be back, and Ryan Wiggins back in studio with us next.
Complete the motion if you stumble. Go watch the
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Michael's Flooring Outlet. You find them online at igotfloor.com. The superior performance and silky softness of the Mohawk Silk line of carpeting is a click away at igotfloor.com. But you can also run or walk to one of their 3 locations in the St. Louis area. They're in Dardenne Prairie, West County, St. Charles County. All those details also online at igotfloor.com. Flooring in a purchasing situation when you are walking in and you're excited about this new project that you have going on in your home. It's going to restore a newness and make your home feel much more modern. It's exciting, but you don't want to overpay, especially for something that isn't quality. You care about quality, but you haven't sacrificed the idea of value. And Michael's Flooring Outlet has been in business as a family-owned and operated business in St. Louis for 30 years, adhering exactly to that. Reach out to them in one of their 3 locations or online at igotfloor.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
At Neovitin, our goal is to create safe, dependable multivitamins to support your everyday nutrition when you need it most. That's why Dr. Ribicki formulated Neovitin Original Formula Multivitamin with 20 daily ingredients, including B vitamins for energy support, vitamin C for immune support, and our 4-ingredient proprietary blend that you won't find in any other multivitamin. With a 4.8 out of 5-star rating on Trustpilot, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality nutritional support with Neovitin. And as always, a portion of the proceeds from the sale of Neovitin Original Formula Multivitamin are donated to the Ribicki Foundation to support pancreatic cancer research. That's nutritional support you can feel good about. Support your best life today with Neovitin Original Formula Multivitamin, available at your local Dierbergs, Schnucks, select independent pharmacies, and online with our easy-to-use monthly subscription at neovitin.com. That's neovitin.com. neovitin.com.
January is a great time to practice your 2A skills at the Range St. Louis West, the only NSSF 5-star shooting range in St. Louis County. Right now, you have a chance to win a custom range-themed hockey jersey and a pair of tickets to a Blues game by playing their Shoots and Scores promo all this month. Go visit them at 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin. You can shop online anytime at therangestl.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and X. I'll see you at the range. range.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned? That is today's question for you via the YouTube live chat poll. Let us know by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. That question will come up along with today's stream, and you can enjoy not only listening to the show, but watching us pantomime to the camera wildly when things are not going right on the show. But you never hear that. You can just see it. That's always part of the fun, isn't it? 150. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Guns and hoses usually means boxing, but January 18th, it's all about soccer. After the St. Louis ambush faced the Empire Strikers at the Family Arena, first responders take the field. One ticket covers both games. Get yours now at 971talk.com/events.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
The song from the Biden goodbye party, "We Found Love in a Hopeless Place." That's not real.
This is what he's been walking into, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Into
Doing the
and
whip
out
and
of
the
press
nay-nay.
conferences. All of his press conferences, all of his many.
Joe, can you be like, what's my walk-up song for this press conference? Maybe they wouldn't give it to him. That's why he quit doing them.
That's why he played his own.
It's in his head. He did hold up Despacito
Yes,
with the one he was talking to the Latino people. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
That's the best.
I have done my fair share of speaking engagements where people show up to hear what I have to say. It's a great honor to do that. And I'm just thinking of being invited to like an ethnically cultural place and being like, Despacito, am I right? If I did that.
And they tell you no, and you're like, okay, I'm going to play it anyway on my phone.
I'm like, the people will love it. They'll understand it. If I did that, it would make national news and I would be unemployed.
Uh-huh.
As I should be. My goodness. Let's dip into... do you have that queued up to like right when he was talking about the hostage situation and stuff?
He's not talking about. He's talking about passing off to the Trump administration.
Okay. Well, we've been watching in studio here President Biden deliver what is being referred to as his last foreign policy speech. We're getting into the lasts, folks. It's like senior year. Everybody's parting ways. It's kind of sad, but we're also kind of happy.
Love you. Don't change.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine?
I'm signing your crack.
Oh man. Yearbook.
Yep. Yeah.
This is I can't segue better into President Biden speaking. Just do it. Do the thing. You know the thing. Play.
There are serious challenges the United States must continue to deal with in Ukraine, in the Middle East, in the Indo-Pacific. Must keep the pressure on the Houthis, who are attacking ships in the Red Sea, launching missiles at Israel, and firing at American forces. Must deter North Korea as they rattle their saber and draw closer to Russia. And new challenges will certainly emerge in the months and years ahead. But even so, it's clear my administration is leaving the next administration with a very strong hand to play. And we're leaving them in America with more friends and stronger alliances, whose adversaries are weaker and under pressure. An America that once again is leading, uniting countries, setting the agenda, bringing others together behind our plans and visions. An America which is no longer at war, which has made historic investments in American workers, American energies, American factories, generating the strongest economy in the world, which is now in a much better position to win the future against any competitor. These wins are not partisan. They're American. They benefit all Americans. and reflect America's endless capacity for leadership and reinvention. Look, folks, the United States should take full advantage of our diplomatic and geopolitical opportunities we've created to keep bringing countries together to deal with challenges posed by China, to make sure Putin's war ends in a just and lasting peace for Ukraine, and to capitalize on a new moment for a more stable, integrated Middle East. To do that, the next administration must make sure the fall of Assad does not lead to the resurgence of ISIS in Syria and across the region. It must carry forward the commitment that America will never, never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon. And on the war between Israel and Hamas, we're on the brink of a proposal that I laid out in detail months ago, finally coming to fruition. I have learned in many years of public service to never, 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 ever give up. So I spoke to Prime Minister of Israel yesterday. I spoke to Emir Qatar today. I look forward to speaking with President Sisi soon. We're pressing hard to close this. The deal we have structured would free the hostages, halt the fighting, provide security to Israel, and allow us to significantly surge humanitarian assistance to the Palestinians who've suffered terribly in this war that Hamas started. They've been through hell. So many innocent people have been killed. So many communities have been destroyed. The Palestinian people deserve peace and the right to determine their own futures. Israel deserves peace and real security. And the hostages and their families deserve to be reunited. And so we're working urgently to close this deal. And as we deal with immediate challenges, in my view, we have to look to the
Well, that's President Biden speaking right there, and he's giving his final foreign policy speech, and it's, I guess, a culmination of how he views it at this point in time. But I will remind you, Donald Trump repeatedly has, speaking about the hostages that he was just talking about there, he has repeatedly said they need to be released before he's sworn into office. Otherwise, there will be all hell to pay. Joe Biden giving that speech, and a lot of people glad-handing after he was done and he's walking out now. So if we get 12,000 YouTube subscribers before we come back, we'll air the rest of that speech.
People are unsubscribing.
Yeah, wait. Unless we get 12,000 subscribers.
Yeah, there you go.
Now I got it right. Sorry about that. Only a week left, folks. Only a week left. We'll be right back.
Imagine this, a summer evening, relaxing under a beautiful porch overhang, hosting your friends on a composite deck, or enjoying a bug-free breeze in a screened room. That sounds dreamy, right? Hi, it's Kim, and that dream can be your reality with Lakeside Renovation and Design because they specialize in creating outdoor spaces that make your backyard the go-to spot for family and friends. And with their attention to detail and the high-quality materials they use, you'll have a space that lasts for years. Visit lakesideRD.com today to get started on your outdoor oasis.
The 28th Winter Warm-Up is coming to Busch Stadium and Ballpark Village January 18th through the 20th. The event features 3 days full of non-stop Cardinals family-friendly fun, including tours of the Cardinals clubhouse, admission to the world-class Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum, plus access to the Cardinals Care Store, autographs, auctions, and an exhibit hall full of sports memorabilia and more. Tickets are on sale now. Proceeds benefit Cardinals Care and its mission to care for kids in the community. Find more details at cardinals.com/WWU.
Do you want to kickstart planning for your retirement this year? Well, I know a quick and easy way to do it. It's a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Kind of like getting the Cliff Notes on how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement. Hey guys, it's Dave Glover from KMOX. It's never too early. It's never too late to get control over your finances and your financial future. You can do it with a one-night class taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience. They're held at colleges and libraries branches throughout St. Louis. You're going to learn about tax saving strategies, IRA and 401k withdrawals, Roth conversions, Social Security, and more. There's no cost. All you have to do is bring 3 canned goods for the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are still openings for this month's classes and next. So call 314-350-8110. 314-350-8110. That's my personal Dave Glover KMOX number, 314-350-8110 for financial and tax architect.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A new era has begun. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from President Biden a short time ago, giving a final foreign policy speech at the State Department.
We've been tested. We've come through those tests stronger, in my view, than we entered those tests.
He says the U.S. is winning a worldwide competition for the future.
Compared to 4 years ago, America is stronger. Our alliances are stronger. Our adversaries and competitors are weaker. We have not gone to war to make these things happen.
President Biden says Ukraine remains free and that Russia's president has failed to achieve any of his strategic objectives there, also urging the incoming administration not to walk away. The president also says his administration is pressing hard to close a ceasefire and hostage deal in Gaza. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan telling reporters earlier Israel and Hamas are close to a deal and that it can get done this week.
Sullivan says the parameters are the same as a framework outlined by President Biden back in May that would see hostages freed in phases and Israeli forces gradually withdraw from Gaza. The outgoing Biden administration is coordinating with the incoming Trump administration.
It is in the American national security interest, regardless of party, regardless of outgoing or incoming administration, to get this deal done as fast as possible.
There are several Americans among the nearly 100 hostages still held by Hamas.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Israeli officials believe more than 30 of those hostages are dead. Winds are picking up again in Southern California, where wildfires have already destroyed thousands of homes, killing more than 20 people.
These conditions are significant, they are serious, and we need you to follow all orders.
L.A. County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath. Tens of thousands remain under evacuation orders or warnings. Water trucks now in place to help replenish supplies after hydrants ran dry last week. America is listening to Fox News.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, the northwest flow is back. 28 for the high today. Sunny skies, a little breezy. Down to 15 with clear skies and a big, bright full moon tonight. On Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Nothing more than a spot snow flurry. 28. 29 on Wednesday, sunny. It's a little bit warmer, above freezing Thursday and Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I do appreciate all the referrals that we receive daily. It is phenomenal. I've said it. I can't say it enough how much I do appreciate the referrals. With that being said, if you do refer me, you're in great hands. I will not sell homeowners that work hard for their money, just like myself, crap that they do not need. But if you want good quality, man, you can't even say cheap anymore. I don't think I can even say cheap by the... You can't even go by price. Okay, that's another commercial. Call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Remember, it's the only number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600 or Bart Inman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. Even if she accidentally knocks out a side accent diamond, Diamonds Direct will replace it free. Now, other stores claim to offer warranties, but the catch is that they won't honor it unless you bring your ring in for regular inspections. But at Diamonds Direct, inspections are never required. There's no gotcha clause. No fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Plain and simple, at Diamonds Direct, we stand behind what we sell, and we're committed to service it at no charge for life, period. It's all part of our commitment to provide you with the ultimate in value and total confidence before, during, and long after your purchase. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
We know you've got an interesting take on things. You can tell us by clicking the microphone button next to Listen Live when you're on the Odyssey app. Record a short message for us to hear when you tune into 97.1 on the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back. Happy Monday. This is like the first normal week that we've had in quite some time. And getting back into the swing of things, isn't there, to me, I'm going to ask you, like, isn't there? But then you're going to say, no, not at all. So I'm not going to infer how you're going to answer this. But do you get a little jolt of energy to get things in order, get a little more organized in January? Once all of the holiday, all the Christmas decorations are put away, you've done the full clean on the home when the Christmas decorations have been toted up and put in the attic or whatever. Does that give you energy to do things that you were like so not interested in thinking about in like mid-November?
Oh yeah, it's like a high. Like
You're mocking me.
No,
you are
I'm
mocking
not.
me.
I'm not. I'm telling you.
Right, it's like
that
I would never.
I'm like, I don't want to organize the garage, but then suddenly in January I'm like, oh yeah, let's organize that garage.
Don't
let's
talk
get
like
this
that.
done. Yeah, it just gets me going.
It's too much indoor hot frosty.
No, you're inferring a lot now.
Now
I'm talking about cleaning.
Now this is
getting
not.
projects done. That's all I'm talking about.
Are you full of crap?
No.
You're still full of crap. I don't believe anything you say.
I'm full of love.
Of what?
And energy because it's January.
I quit. Going home. I'm going to go organize.
I know. I totally
I'm gonna
understand.
organize my closet.
What you're saying, because I love getting projects done when everything's getting back. The kids are back in school. Katie's back in school. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to get a shelf built.
By who?
Probably
By
my
whom?
handyman.
Yeah. Better make that phone call.
Get a shelf built.
Yeah, but I'll make a phone call now before I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want to lift that phone. Now I got energy. What about you?
Brad?
I know what you're talking about, Annie.
Thank you.
I do too.
Thank you.
It's like a renewed.
No, you're done. You did your thing. You're done. I feel sufficiently mocked. Brad.
It's that renewed focus that you get. And you're like, all right, new year.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's
Injecting
get
my
right
veins.
in
We
there.
go. All right.
Yeah, new year, new me.
Yeah,
ready
new year,
to go.
new you.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this book at you. I'm gonna get the wrestling book and throw it at you.
You made Brad mad. How do you feel?
He
about
always makes me mad.
No, I don't.
I'm just expressing myself now.
No, I don't.
Stop being a jerk and cutting me off. I'm trying to make a point, Ryan.
I like cutting off Annie. I don't like doing it to Brad, but I got so much energy
But you
because
do
it's
it.
January.
But you do it nonetheless, which leads me to believe that maybe you do like it.
Yeah.
Annie?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go.
I'm going to shut up. Clearly, I'm not wanted here.
Ryan, you are incapable of passing up the opportunity to make a joke. You can't do it. You can't do it. It's like what movie am I thinking of? Oh yeah, it's like Roger Rabbit.
Just sitting there boiling.
No, Christopher Lloyd's like, no tune can refrain from the old shave and a haircut. Dun, 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 dun. And he's like, 2 bits. That's you. That's what I deal with every day. You're 2 bits.
I'm not going to deny that.
I'm going to go get the dip.
Oh, no. That kills tunes. I've seen it.
Yeah, who's the Christopher Lloyd of this situation? I think I just made it me.
Yeah.
Start calling Annie the judge.
Yeah. Your eyes all bug out like Large Marge.
Roger Rabbit's a good movie.
Oh, it's a great movie.
I hated that movie when I was a kid.
It was scary.
It was. It was too intense for a little
it crossed over into like a little bit more of an elevated maturity to watch the storyline that was going on. I did not. Do you know what that movie is about? Do you know like what the
It was like a secret theme to it? Is it really about communism and McCarthyism or something?
No.
Okay, good.
It's about insurance fraud.
What? No.
The guy fakes his death to collect an insurance payment.
But that's not like the moral of the story, is it?
No, that's the catalyst of the story.
Okay.
I've been going back and watching those 80s, 90s, early 2000s movies. Every time we think of one, we show them to the kids. And I go back and I'm watching some of these movies for the first time where I can, as an adult, contemplate what this story is about. And whoever is in charge of, gosh, I'm going to probably get a little bit of the details wrong, but it's like whoever was in charge of Toontown dies so that they can collect insurance money on it.
And was Roger Rabbit the witness? Is that why he was?
No, he was framed for murdering him.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? But
yes, the name of the film.
Jessica Rabbit was playing patty cake, literally.
That's right.
And was aware of the like insurance claim and all this stuff. But the whole point is, I was watching this. I'm like, is Roger Rabbit about insurance fraud? It appears it is. But when you're a kid, to your point, all you see is these beloved characters. I mean, there were Disney characters, Warner Brothers characters.
That's why it was so unique.
Toontown was all together, and it's like, here's the scariest man you've ever seen in your life, Doc. That's the only other place you knew of Christopher Lloyd. Is a crazy scientist from Back to the Future. Here he is, and he's boiling cartoons.
Yeah, he's just throwing acid all over like your beloved childhood characters.
Yeah.
I hated that movie. I wanted that movie to be, when it came out, just Toontown. No conflict. Just
that existed already. That's what makes the movie interesting in the level that it was presented to the public.
Yeah, I wanted to see the prequel to Roger Rabbit when it was just fine. And I loved the Toontown stuff because even at the time I didn't understand like, oh, these are two different studios getting involved. How rare.
Mm-hmm.
But it was weird to see Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Because I'd never seen that before. And I wanted to see more of that.
Guess the year.
89.
88.
Ah, close.
So I'd have been 4 when it came out. You were about 17.
7.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I was 6 or 7, depending on when it came out.
But the other thing that was interesting to me as an adult watching that movie was that, do you know what they wanted to do to Toontown?
Do they want to pillage it?
No, not well.
Build a freeway.
And parking lots.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Lloyd, in his like corporatism, is all about taking over Toontown, and he starts talking about the magnificences of freeways and parking lots and stores taking over, like the idea of capitalism or, air quotes, progress, taking over the cartoon world to serve basically corporate greed masters. And I'm like, that's what they did to Disney. they implemented all of this DEI in place of like what is actually joyful in storytelling, because that's I will say this. I don't know what even would have to be said in order to change my mind on this. The idea of DEI existing, these departments of DEI, and injecting it into every nook and cranny. They used to do this to great lengths, but in a secretive way. But what the Barack Obama Hope and Change movement morphed into was in the overt punch you in the nose with it way. And if you didn't like it, you were racist, you were sexist, you were homophobic, you were, a Nazi or whatever it was. I mean, they got so overt with it that everybody started to tune away. But the implementation, the public implementation of DEI was never about kindness and openness to diversity. It was always, and we know this now more than ever, a marketing ploy. They wanted to sell to consumers that when you do business with us, you're on the right side of history. If you patronize these different places, like that one executive at the Bud Light thing, people don't really remember that the Dylan Mulvaney thing was not really an ad campaign per se by Anheuser-Busch or Bud Light. One marketing exec sent a case of Bud Light to Dylan Mulvaney. And this is what happens in the influencer world, is you send a care package, and then what they do is they're like, oh, thanks, free stuff. Beer company ABC sends me this stuff. I'll do some social media with it. I get some free stuff out of it. There could be compensation that's involved in it. I don't know that Dylan Mulvaney was compensated for it.
I thought there was something. I thought there was something more than just Bud Light, but I don't remember what it was.
My understanding was that this was part of a package that would be sent out to social media influencers, and it's almost like phishing. You send stuff out to people, and then they do what they do with the product, and they upload it to their outlets. People see it, and we live in a world where you would probably think that you could send out care packages like that to a whole bunch of influencers who are on all sorts of political ends of the spectrum or whatever it is. And then they do with it what they do with it. And then you get some publicity out of tapping into these massive audiences that people have created on social media. But the virtue signaling that has been invested in these marketing departments, not the DEI department. It's like the DEI should have been a budgetary subset of marketing. Because businesses, corporations see value in selling you that virtue. And when it was no longer popular, they stopped doing it. Go back and listen to what some of these companies have said about diversity and equity and inclusion. How is it possible that Facebook can be eliminating their DEI programs and still be committed to a diverse workplace at Facebook? Either you didn't have to have the department in the first place in order to ensure that you're not being an a-hole employer, or you did, and now you're an a-hole employer. Which one is it? They're selling you what is on trend. And what was on trend was woke. What is on trend is the opposite of woke. Which is really, it's really kind of gross when you think about it, that all of these different corporations that are looking to be successful on their bottom line so that when they report back to their shareholders or whatever budgetary meetings, that they can report nice, happy numbers that are in the black. That they go and look at what's on trend and they lean into that. I'm very curious to see how much advertising, how much marketing starts to at least wink and nod towards faith. Because the opposition to what we've seen for so long, is to come out and say, it's all over sports right now. And I have this in my mind to do on Friday as our poll. It's like, do you believe that there is a genuine faith movement taking place in our country right now? Because if all of these companies start seeing that, you're going to see, Like, for instance, locally, the St. Louis Cardinals, they have a Christian Day at the ballpark. They have a Pride Day at the ballpark. Okay. Do they elevate the promotion of the Christian Day at the ballpark right now? I don't know what they will do locally, but I wouldn't be surprised to see places that were previously woke while they still offer what they literally refer to in June as gay days. Will there be an amplification of some sort of faith-based thing? If it's on trend, I think you might see that. There's nothing wrong with a company leaning into trends, but when you find yourself feeling more virtuous because you patronize any company, just always remember in your brain that that virtue is something they're using to sell to you. And there's not a better example than watching all of these. Robbie Starbuck on X is at the forefront of diving deep into these corporations, finding out about their DEI programs, and really just making public, did you know that John Deere, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it's like John Deere's getting rid of their DEI department. They don't even, nobody wants to deal with what Bud Light has had to deal with. And I am maybe in the minority, I don't know. I want Bud Light to rise above this. I want to be in a place where anybody who has, prior to this moment in time, put themselves in a position where they failed to read the reality of the situation, I want people to be able to right the ship. I want to see people have success, but you can't just, you don't just get it. You have to earn it. And watching company after company after company be highlighted specifically by Robbie, which is where I see this at the forefront, be specifically highlighted like, okay, let's look into the DI company of this. And it's usually, generally speaking, like, for instance, John Deere. As a company, you got a lot of conservatives driving John Deeres. I would assume that there is a higher percentage of conservative farmers than there are liberal farmers. Just an assumption. Point me to the data where I'm wrong. Do people, if you've got options, if you have an international harvester, if you've got a cat, if you've got whatever the equipment is that you're trying to look for, what's the red one?
Case International.
Case International. We're a green family.
Same.
If you are looking at your options and you realize, wow, this company that I'm buying 6 figures worth of equipment for, I mean, like, if you've ever looked into the price of a combine, good grief. Do I want to spend it here or do I want to spend it there? Those opportunities exist, and all of a sudden it's become, in a capitalistic way, advantageous to eliminate the DEI program. And that is as political of a move as it was to add the DEI program. But here we are.
Yeah, it's not a horrible place to be. At least it's shifting in the right direction. You just hope it doesn't just shift back and forth.
But
At least
it will.
It will, but you hope there's some permanence too.
That's the thing, though. Like, we need to stop adding into our identity the politics of the companies and corporations that we utilize. It's up to you to make the decision where to spend your money. And I talk to a lot of people, especially ones who listen to this show or this station, or people who are of the mind think that a lot of us are, that you get to the point where you're like, I can afford to spend my money, where after I let go of my money and send it to the next place, if it costs me more to send it to a place that doesn't hate me, I'm willing to spend those dollars. I understand that and respect it wholeheartedly, to be an educated consumer. But it's okay to just, I mean, by all means, do what you want to do, but it's okay to just choose to spend your dollars elsewhere and not feel compelled to have to go on some sort of crusade to get a company or to get the public to understand where you are. Because the bottom line that affects everything is the moved money. That's the key. And in American capitalism, in this free market society that we live in, we have that power to do that. I definitely see a shift, though, right now. Is a very big trend of DEI programs going away. And I just got to think that every time there's a headline that hits like that, it is personally offensive to the Kamala Harris types who need that mentality, that virtuous moral obligation to coat your heart in decisions that you make, to not publicly be against those things. Oh, they don't really care how you feel about it. But when you can keep people from speaking out loud about how they feel about things because they disagree, when you can keep people silent, you win every argument they don't participate in. And now they're not winning that argument any longer. All right, a quick break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about your comments on the YouTube live chat poll. Should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned? Yes or no? Annie Fry YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@AnnieFry, F-R-E-Y. Go vote. Tell us what you think. We'll be right back.
Yeah, she's a kind of.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I got a woman.
Follow Annie on X @Annie Fry Show.
That's good to me. Oh, yeah. She says I love it.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon here with a quick listening tip for you. If you miss Fox Across America or any of your other Fox News favorites, do not worry. I got you covered. You can stream previously aired shows with Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app. So if you're busy work days, it doesn't mean you have to miss out on the news. Listen to your Fox shows on your time with Odyssey. To get started, just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio. That's Odyssey, AUDACY. I'm spelling it out in case you're a little slow like me.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches on my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-250-7807. 800-250-7807. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-250-7807.
I want to talk to you about air comfort service. Right now, you are in the thick of winter, of course, 24 degrees outside, according to the computer right in front of me. You need to make sure that your comfort zone is working for you and it's not working overtime. And that's not just in your residence, it's also in your place of business. Air Comfort Service is happy to provide commercial services for people just like you, for businesses just like yours. You can call them directly at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. As I said, both residential and commercial. If you are a business owner, building manager, an operations manager, an office manager that has recently heard that your HVAC system needs repair, you can reach out to Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation and get a free second opinion on a heat exchanger or compressor repairs. Reach out to them if you are looking at a steep bill or questioning your quoted repair. Air Comfort Service is there to help guide you. You can trust them. I have had them in my home multiple times. Pretty much my entire HVAC system has been replaced by Air Comfort Service. And if I had another problem or a family member that had a problem, I would be sure to make sure that they reached out to Air Comfort Service. 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com.
On-time news. On your time. Download the Odyssey app and dip in whenever you want. And stay on top of what's happening. 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
It's like that feeling when you're just about to kill it. Take your last shot, you know you're gonna hit it. Something's in the air, something's in the air. Whoa. Something big, I feel it happening out in my control.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We are 1 week away from Donald Trump, President 47, 45 and 47. 1 week from today, we will be broadcasting live. Are we on, 11 to 3, I think?
Yep,
is the plan?
extended hours.
Yep.
Extended hours. We're going to broadcast live the coverage in conjunction, hand in hand with Fox News. Very proud to be the Fox News radio affiliate here in St. Louis. And so we will have your coverage for the inauguration, for the events as they unfold. And when we were speaking with Steve Moore earlier on the show today, who also said on air that he would be happy to come back with us, and we will absolutely welcome him back from the parties taking place in Washington, D.C. that day, that Donald Trump intends to take the oath of office right there on the Capitol steps and then go immediately into the Capitol and sign some executive orders. And he said before the parade. That's what he said. So that's business. That's getting down to business right away.
I didn't. Oh, so he's going to go from swearing in to sign then?
Yeah, he's going to walk in the Capitol, sign papers.
In the Capitol building.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then Steve said, and then he'll do the parade after that. I just think that I'm asking on the YouTube live chat poll for today, should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned, yes or no? The parade is, I guess, maybe the thing that makes me the most nervous. But being on the Capitol steps, man, that's out there. Have you been?
No, I've never been to Washington. Well, you know what? I've been for a day, but I didn't see any of the stuff. It was for business stuff back a while ago.
Business stuff? That sounds intriguing.
Business stuff.
It was back when I was doing Songstage, the second season of the show. We had some judges and stuff on the show, and Sirius XM is in Washington, D.C., or their headquarters is. So we went there to do some interviews. And that we were in and out, though. I never saw anything.
Chris on YouTube says, I vote for as planned with lots of prayers. Russell says, I voted yes to go on as traditionally planned, but many have missed some news, which may have been why this poll was chosen. But may have missed some news as to why this poll was chosen. Just getting close. Just worrying, I suppose. Myself. Vicky said, I voted no. I just have a bad feeling and would feel better if it was all done indoors. Diane said, lots of craziness out there, and after 2 assassination attempts, I am uncertain whether things should change. I'm a no. RSG said, I voted no on the poll. Saboteurs will be running amok. Constant stopping for drone alerts. Joe will fall up the stairs. Kamala will be stumbling around. It will be helter-skelter. I hadn't really thought of my consideration for Joe and Kamala on that day. Jackie said, I'm in agreement with George. The inauguration should go on as planned with increased security. Well, Lord Almighty, I hope so. And Dale said, I said yes, but with a modification such as riding in the Beast down Pennsylvania Avenue. I think that there should be modifications. Of course, increased security, like Jackie said, is an absolute must. And I mean, they'll do it. They'll secure it as no expense spared on making sure that everything is super, super secured. But after it's all said and done, how many times have we talked about what could happen and then nothing happens, and then a week later you're like, oh hey, remember when we were worried about that? That was a no-go.
Right. Which hopefully this will be, but you never know. The worst case scenario is always what you're planning for. I think they should spare no expense in having tons and tons of Donald Trump impersonators everywhere.
Oh, there will be dupes.
So, you know,
And then for the
he's
folks at
walking
home,
out
that's
from
not the
behind
same as
other
Trump.
buildings. You're like, which one's a real one? I don't even know. Like, it's the end of Three
The
Amigos.
Mexican hat dance.
Yeah.
Probably call it something else.
Yeah.
Call it the American hat dance.
Yeah. Gulf of America.
Did you see it? Was it real that the Mexican president tweeted out like a new map that called it Mexican America, or is that just a spoof?
I saw that she was talking about it.
Well,
Like, for real.
It is a spoof, but she's
from
doing
her.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't some sort of funny idea that somebody else had.
No, but did you see the funny idea that somebody else had that the reason he's calling it Gulf of America is because they've banned so much drilling in the Gulf of Mexico that he's going to get around all this. That's not the Gulf of Mexico anymore.
Well, the kids would call that big brain.
Yeah, that's thinking with 100% of your brain.
I don't see a Gulf of Mexico here. Nope, do you?
Go ahead and drill, everyone.
Let's go. Looks like we can drill, baby, drill. I wish I knew what the word baby in Spanish was.
Nino.
Baby?
Mm-hmm.
It's child.
Close enough. Drill, Nino, drill.
You sound like a gringo. Nino, close enough.
I don't even know what a gringo is, so I'll take it as a compliment.
Spanish word
For baby.
Baby. It's going to be Nino, and I'm going to be mad.
Yeah, it is.
It's baby.
No.
Baby.
Baby. Isn't that a brand?
El Nino does say child, kid, boy, baby, infant, or lad,
See?
and dramatic storm. I added that. El Hijo is son, child, sonny, or bairn. Got that taken care of.
Alrighty.
On this YouTube live chat poll, should it go on as traditionally planned? You are a
I am go on as traditionally planned.
yes.
Yes.
Brad?
Yeah, I'm a yes on this poll. It should go on as it's planned.
I am a no. I would like modifications, but I don't think I'm going to get them. Let us know what you think on the YouTube poll, and we'll continue to report on those results here. At the end of the show, Ethan will come in here shirtless.
All greased up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about that. No, he never does that around us.
Well, that's what Ryan said.
That is what I said. He does that at 3.
Oh, that's why I get the heck out of here.
You know what's going to be really funny is that if we keep talking about that like it's a real thing, and then Ethan has to do it because people demand it.
I don't know. Nobody ever has to do anything here.
What if we show up at our next remote and people are like, what's Ethan doing wearing a shirt? Like they really bought into it. What's Ethan going to do?
There's nothing wrong with shirtless Ethan.
That's what I would sort of say too.
Would you?
I
You
don't
have
know.
to think about it. Practice.
I
Do you have
know.
all your Christmas decorations down?
No.
How much? What percentage are
0.
still up?
Oh,
Everything's
100%
up.
is still up.
What about you, Brad?
They're all down.
Everything's down. What? Do you have a plan for when they come down?
Oh yeah, there's a very involved plan.
Like back then?
No.
What?
Right now. Here's the deal. We couldn't put any of our Christmas stuff away because all the Christmas stuff goes in the corner where the handyman had to be to put in the electric for the bidet.
The bidet.
So once again, the bidet is the bane of my existence.
It's the Christmas gift that keeps on giving.
Well, finally it's there. And so now the plan, and also we had so many Christmases that we had to delay because of weather and sickness and stuff. We finally did our last one this weekend. So
This
now
past
we
weekend you
can't.
had a
Yeah,
Christmas?
we did. We've finally put it away now, as of today.
Your Christmas stuff is away.
No, we can finally
you can.
put it away.
Yeah, we have everything. I think we still have our little train set up on top of our piano. And we have our Christmas tree is up, but completely undressed. Just like Ethan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, partial.
Shedding all over the place. It's a real tree, and it has not been watered in some time. I know it's a fire hazard. I get it. I want it gone. But when you've got to move a Christmas tree that is so brittle, it's almost like you don't want to do it because the mess that it's about to make is worse than the mess that it is right there in the corner. And with the snow, normally we would just, in order to get it out of the house, we would go put it in the Christmas tree holder on the deck and just let it sit out there. And then the first warm time that we've got a friend. Sometimes we'll put it in their lake if they want a tree in their lake. It helps with the fishing and stuff. Or put it somewhere. I don't know if they even really got around to the Christmas tree pickup, because usually the local trash will be like, you get this much amount of time to put your tree at the end of your road and we'll pick it up. I don't know that if our municipality even did that. You guys have all fake trees, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did this year.
I need to get this sucker out of my house, and I can't do it myself, and it's going to be a disaster mess.
We got a new tree that was I think it's a 9-foot tree a few years ago. And it was nice to know, just based on your advice, that I could take the old fake tree and just go throw it in somebody's lake.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah. It's great for the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go to break, FR says something inherently wrong with needing an electrician to wire your plumbing project.
It's not just plumbing. It needed electric, too. I had to have
to give you an extra little zzz.
A utility handyman. You got to plug those things in.
What kind of bidet is this?
It's powerful. It's not just water. It's heated seats. It probably plays music. I don't even know. I haven't gotten that far.
You haven't been allowed to use it yet.
Yeah, really. It's like that's her bathroom now. Used to be everybody's. Now it's Katie's bathroom.
You don't even get to use it?
I've used it,
You have
but
to sneak around.
It's like you got to wait till
Ryan, what are you doing?
people are sleeping.
Why are you going in there?
People are watching a movie. You're like, I got to run to the restroom real quick. So yeah, you have to plug these things, even if it's just the seat. You can't just use a bidet the same way and hook it up to your plumbing. You got to get electric in your bathroom, or you can just run a real long extension cord over to by the sink. I
Get
guess
one of those orange ones.
Yeah,
we'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
If you're planning to sell and also buy a home in the near future, I know what you're going through. Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty knows selling and buying your next home at the same time can be tricky, especially in our area. Hey, Mark Cox here. If you need to sell and buy at the same time, this is for you. Gloria Lou has several great options for her home sellers, including her Sell and Stay program. That gets you the most money possible for your current home and allows you to stay put until you find your next home. No more stress, worries, or hassles. Gloria Lou makes selling your St. Louis area home easy, and she's been doing this for more than 21 years. Why risk working with an average realtor when you can work with the best? The name to remember is Gloria Lou of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call Gloria today at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com, 314-325-6888 or GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
At NeoVitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new NeoVitin Omega-3 supplement. NeoVitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get NeoVitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a NeoVitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
2 items of praise today. The YouTube live chat poll question, which is very interesting. Should the Trump inauguration go as traditionally planned? You can find that question and vote in the YouTube live chat poll by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. Second, Brad Range, who prints out our show sheets, used a very, very nice thick paper stock today. And I want to.
He's going to get fired for that now. You told everybody.
Oh, yeah. We're supposed to use the cheap stuff. Stuff is like all gray and gross and recycled. Sorry, Brad. but this is the good, really thick stuff.
I think
Nice
this
grade.
is sabotage. I think this is intentional.
Well, did you print these out?
I did print them out.
Oh, throw it on Ethan.
I gave him a chance.
But I didn't load the copier.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, there's a good cop out.
Who did that, Ethan?
I think that's fair.
244. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon. Welcome to a Friday. That means a Reardon Roundtable is coming up here in just a few minutes. Jane is on the panel. State Rep Steve Butts, former St. Louis County Councilman, and Police Chief Tim Fitch. We have a lot to talk about. We get rolling in just a few minutes, right after Fox News.
Took you like a shot, thought that I could chase you with a cold evening. Let a couple years water down how I'm feeling.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Single word built up to this moment, and I gotta convince myself I don't want it, even though I do. You could break my heart in two, but when it heals, it beats for you. I know it's forward, but it's true. I wanna hold you. I know I'd go back to you.
The Greenlanders, the Danes, would love nothing more than for American private industry to either, whether it be develop, mine natural resources, or were they to exist, even drill for oil and gas. American oil and gas companies have looked at Greenland, the Greenlandic territorial waters for years and years and years. Remember, this is an extremely complicated and expensive part of the world to do business, and it hasn't always made commercial sense. But there is zero reason why American national interests cannot do exactly what the Chinese are looking at doing right now as well, which is investing in Greenland. There's nothing holding us back from that.
That's the former ambassador to Denmark, Rufus Gifford.
Ah.
You got to trust a guy who is an ambassador named Rufus.
Mm-hmm. I'd appoint him just based on that.
Saying positive things towards the idea of American interest in Greenland. Do you feel like that's going to really happen?
More so every day.
It doesn't seem crazy.
I can't believe once the case is presented for why, if you were living in Greenland, why you would want to, I can't imagine not wanting to.
Well, and then like if you're in the United States and you're like, why on earth would they do this? Like it's so much more. Like there's shipping lanes. I heard somewhere where they were talking about, well, there's like this natural choke point that's between England, Iceland, and Greenland, that any Russian ship, if they're not getting out of the, and they're not getting out of the sea down by Ukraine because Turkey has closed off the Dardanelles, they have to go through there. And they're like, you want military presence there to basically, if you want to say, nope, you can't come through, you make it so. And you can do that from Greenland if the U.S. had a base there.
Annie, I don't know about you, but when Turkey closed off the Dardanelles, I was immediately like, we need Greenland.
Yes. I was trying to read the subtitles on TMZ.
I knew you were.
You're a jerk.
I knew you were.
Yeah, you called me out.
Here's another one for you.
It was for the show.
Here's another one for you.
No.
Whenever I hear Danes, I think of 20s slang. I am not thinking of Danish people. I'm thinking of like, she's a dime. Hey, look at a Dane. Bee's knees.
Dame?
Yes, but it's Danes. Whenever they say Danes, as in Danish people,
you're thinking of
I
dames.
automatically am going back to, hey, yeah, cat's meow, baby.
Can we talk about TMZ?
Sure.
Is this what it's like to listen to our show?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, no.
This is what it's like.
I was like in the middle of working.
Right.
And then I tuned back into the show.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand what's
It's
going
unfortunate,
on.
isn't it?
Well, it's when I'm the host.
Yeah.
We went from the Dardanelles to the bee's knees in 2 minutes.
TMZ is covering Carrie Underwood performing at the inauguration. And I was trying to read the subtitles up there because they're reporting on it. And what the subtitles say is that they are seeing a whole new caliber of celebrities willfully coming out in support of Trump and said something about cozying up to Trump. And there was nothing that was said there that was a jab at Donald Trump.
Okay.
I was just waiting for the opportunity to see where they like leveled it. Okay, Carrie Underwood is going to be at the inauguration. She's going to sing. They referred to her as being consistently apolitical, which I think is pretty true. She said some things before that made me think she probably leans conservative. She's a country artist. So I think you default country artists to be conservative, and then they usually do something to try to make you question that they're completely a far right winger, which is what the assumption is, especially from people who know nothing about country music.
Right.
But they even set up there, like, let's be honest, Carrie Underwood is in a different class of celebrity than Kid Rock, who performed at the first one. And I think that's actually, I don't know about, like, caliber of performers, but Carrie Underwood is A-list musician, talent, beauty, entrepreneur, everything. And you even mentioned off air, didn't you say here today off air that Carrie Underwood was going to be performing?
Brad did.
Brad did? I mean, that I didn't know that until Brad said it, and then they're reporting it on TMZ.
Or Ethan did, because by the look on Brad's face,
it was
did
definitely
not say
Ethan.
That.
Well, Brad's in the fan club.
Yeah, I know. Brad's one printing all that paper.
Big fan of Carrie Underwood.
I don't think so, based on your eyebrows.
Weird.
Not they're like he's not caring
Do you
enough
guys need
for
to
his
finish
eyebrows.
this? I'll just sit here.
He
TMZ's at commercial
Look,
break,
Ethan's
but
here.
I'll
Look,
see what
Ethan,
AAA
were you
has.
the one that mentioned Carrie Underwood being at the inauguration?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. We couldn't figure it out.
If there's only a way we could amplify his voice on this show.
There it is.
Just stand in the corner and yell, Ethan.
Right now?
Yeah.
You want me to do that right now?
No.
Okay. It was me, Ryan.
Do you, the report just came out, the Village People are going to perform. I don't know if that's entirely shocking to anybody, but they are
That's so
going to
funny.
perform.
I didn't know all of them liked Trump. I knew one of them did.
I think they probably like what he's done for their careers.
Yeah.
This time around.
Sure.
Yes, I'm not saying that the Village People needed Donald Trump to be a known name. But in 2025, there's how many people who are of the Village People's era are having their heyday once again?
I would think that Pepsi money's dried up by now.
I don't even know who the Village People are.
You're familiar with Pepsi?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
That's it?
What?
Pepsi did a big ad campaign, PEPSI, in the 90s.
I don't remember that.
I
but
wasn't
also,
alive.
if also rude. Also, when I think of the Village People, I don't automatically think of Pepsi.
Oh, I do.
When I think of Pepsi, I think of Britney Spears, like any good millennial.
What did she do for Pepsi?
I'm learning a lot about you, mister.
What did she do?
You think about Pepsi, and your first thought is the Village People and not Britney Spears?
Look, my first thought about a lot of things
You
is
are
the Village
actually
People.
like a minute older than me, and Britney Spears' Pepsi commercial should be right down Central Lane for one Ryan Wiggins.
No one's going to talk about him just admitting his deep love for the Village People?
Yeah, I'm not here to judge. Nothing wrong with that.
If I look up Britney Spears Pepsi commercial, am I going to get reported?
Not here.
I'll go down with you.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it's for Ethan, historical purposes. He wasn't alive then. That's what we'll say.
She's wearing a low-cut top.
That she is.
I see. Interesting. I guess I'll have to watch it.
Now, to the Village People. I see they're wearing a low-cut top.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That was unexpected. She started the whole commercial. I don't remember any of this.
Oh, you're actually watching
She started the whole commercial
radio.
in like a delivery worker's uniform, a Pepsi delivery worker, full on.
I bet it didn't last long.
She took it right off.
Why even put it on
Almost
in the first place?
Exactly.
Do you remember the Gladiator? Britney Spears, Pink, Beyonce, Enrique Iglesias is like the emperor or whatever of Gladiator, and they're doing "We Will Rock You."
Oh, I kind of did. They just remake this one recently?
I think it's made the rounds recently on social media.
Well, there was a new one because like Megan Thee Stallion was in it too. Like there was a newer version of it.
The Stallion.
What did I say? Sorry, got it in my bad.
Huge fan.
Big fan. Can't even like process after the function after that.
He's actually going to do a Megan Thee Stallion report tomorrow on Wiggins America.
Oh, really?
Just read some lyrics.
No, not really.
I don't think you could do that.
She made that up. It was for jokes.
I don't make things up.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was for fun.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm going to continue to see what happens in this commercial.
Should have tipped you off at the end of the
A
segment.
whole bunch of delivery workers all showed up, and they kept their uniforms on. Thank you very much.
Whew.
But they're background dancers.
Oh.
Hers is off.
Go, let,
What?
the way you said that, I'm just not. I'm not comfortable.
What does any of this have? What does any of this have to do with
off.
Pepsi? I'm not any more inclined to drink that beverage after watching this.
Okay,
That
let's
doesn't
go
make
back
you
to the
thirsty?
village people, sir.
Well, it makes me a little thirsty, but not for Pepsi in particular.
Get Mark Reardon in here. I'm done. Mark, you're not busy. I need help. Well, how long can we have dead air? 8 seconds?
8 seconds.
Britney Spears 2001 or Britney Spears 2005? Or, I'm sorry, 2025. The now version or the 2001 version? Which would you prefer? To me, it's 2001 all the way. But I just wanted to see if I was alone.
Nope, you're not.
Okay.
Very alone.
I mean, based on nobody answering the question, I feel alone.
Who
Guess
else
I'll
do you
go
want
back
to
the
see
commercial.
perform at the inauguration?
Do
Do you want to see any of the rappers?
you remember Billy Gilman?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing him.
Voice was heard.
Uh-huh.
That's how high his voice was.
I want to see him.
Billy Gilman. Why do you know? Why is that name in your? Why is that accessible in your head? Why? Billy Gilman?
Mm-hmm.
Ethan? Do you know who Billy Gilman is?
Nope. I'm sorry.
He too did a Pepsi
But Billy
commercial.
Gilman then. Again, not now. Then. We need to have
Prepubescent.
that Billy Gilman
Yeah.
at next week's inauguration.
YouTube live chat poll and results. Ethan, help.
That time of the day. Thank God. 271 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll, which asks, should the Trump inauguration go on as traditionally planned? And this was an overwhelming answer in one direction. 86% saying yes. And do some simple math there. 14% say no.
Well, God willing, everything goes off as planned and no drama other than the business of the new president and the presidency. We will be covering that whole day. We will be there 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for special coverage of the inauguration of President Donald J. Trump. So you're going to want to keep it here on 97.1 next Martin Luther King Day. But of course, do not change the channel. Right here on 97.1 FM Talk. Mark Reardon coming up next.
Oh, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart. So beat the drum with me.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Thursday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Thomas and Bob with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and would like to learn how linking to the market eliminates your fees and will generate you more income? Would you like to know how to lock in your gains every year without selling, even when the market's going down?
Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Thursday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri.